And one and a two and a three. I think we're live. Hey guys. Let's see. I got to answer a question for Reloader 762. Let's see. Reloader 762 is here. Thorzax, Uncle John, Patriot Paul, and I think that's it right now. I'll just keep interrupting as people come on. All right. So, 762 was asking about what was it? Flaring. Okay, flaring the seating stem, whatever. Yeah.
Through dye he was asking about.
Huh?
I thought he said it was a powder through dye.
Yeah. Well, I think he's talking about the seating stem.
And it says, what size grinder did you use to bevel the inside of those NOE powder through expanders?
Yeah, I didn't have NOE. I was using the new Lee ones. But anyway, I use the carbine. And my son isn't around right now. He's got the kit, and I'd have to try and imagine which one I used in the video. But I just used a ball shape, so it was either half inch, quarter inch, but it was the ball and it's carbide, and it only takes a zip. It just takes a zip. And then if you want it polished, just put a little piece of 600 grit with a little oil right over the same ball and zip it again. I hope that helps, but I don't have. He's got a full kit of them. We buy them every time we can find them at a yard sale or a thrift store, rummage sale, whatever. Every time we see carbide bits like that, we buy them in all shapes and sizes. So I can't answer perfectly what the question was. I can't even remember what I used in the video, but I believe it was a ball, and it was quarter inch, half inch. Let's see. Kip is here. Garage Guy is here. And yeah, I've done it to a lot of seating stems because fat blunt bullets sometimes, it'll make a ring and you don't want that. So only takes a few seconds. All right. Okay. So Andy, I shipped those out yesterday, the Kydex. We were going to try and 3D print you some, but you and your dashes and dots, there was one measurement, and it's like, is that a dot or a dash, or what does that mean?
Dot 7, dot 8, two different 0.8.
And he was all ready to do it. He just needed one number, and you said, no, forget it, send Kydex. So we sent Kydex. You got lots to play with. I gave you 2 3-inch squares and 2 bigger sheets cut in half to fit in the package. So you can play with it and make other stuff out of it. So hi, Vanessa Kitty. Vanessa Kitty's here. So there's that. So when I asked you about cardboard, it was because I still can't visualize what you're doing. If you took a piece of cardboard and cut it that shape and set it right on the rifle under the scope, then I'd know what you're doing. But we have no clue. We just we don't see a 3D type deal. Anyway,
I wish I could draw better. But I went to my machine. I went to the machine shop that I used to work for, and I handed him that. Yeah, we can make that up for you, no problem. So, you know what I wanted.
Okay, see, he gets your language. He speaks your jive.
I worked there. That's how we did things.
I didn't get your jive, so I didn't know if I could visualize. Anyway, that doesn't work out, and I know what you're after. Then maybe we can just 3D print it.
All right, as long as I think that'll work out.
He's still working on stuff from scratch. If he's got something similar, he can modify it, but he still hasn't done like anything from scratch, really. But he can do it. He's just, blowing me off. That boy.
I've seen the stuff he's put on his rifles that he made from scratch.
So, that boy can do anything. Yeah, he TIG welded up all kinds of stuff on that little mini AK. That's almost done. He just wants to enclose the front. I said, no, leave it open. Nope, he wants to enclose the front. So anyway, that's really cool. He made his own cheese grater and everything for the top. And I'm tired. It's funny you got machinery there because with the cat, I forgot how many grease fittings are on my tractor. I got a backhoe and a bucket up front, and there's suspension underneath. And I get the grease gun out, and it melted in the sun, so all the good stuff dribbled out of it. And I had to wear gloves and tubby towels just to clean that up so I could use it. And I'm still not half greased. So I got gravel coming, and I had to put the bucket on, even though we're, going to be snowing in 2 months. That's a good thing. I need to do stuff with the bucket before I take it off again. But luckily, it went really well. It's a big-ass snowblower, and it goes all the way under the frame, and it's heavier than shit. And this time, it cooperated. Just getting your hydraulic lines back on and pulling up to the bucket and lifting it, getting it on there, taking the other one off. It actually worked pretty good. And the great thing was I was all stressed out because I got to get the tractor ready. Gravel's coming. I get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and have a smoke on the landing in the garage, and the lights are off. So I don't notice. And I go to put out my smoke, and I'm like, son of a bitch. He got the bucket out and everything because it's all stashed in the garage next to my casting bench. And he moved all that stuff. He had it all ready. I was like, I'll be damned. So he's a good son. Didn't even ask him or nothing. And that was a lot of work. He had to move a lot of stuff, and then we moved it back, And we'll go through the dance again when it starts snowing. All right. So, Andy, did you go shooting?
No. Rain's that Wednesday here. So, this Wednesday looks like it'll be okay. But I plan on going, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Patriot Paul is an artiste. Weren't we arguing last chat? I don't know why. I don't know. Patriot Paul is passionate like I am. So I think we were debating about something. I don't know what it was. Anyway, I love Patriot Paul. All of y'all. That rhymed. So you didn't go shooting?
No, I haven't touched. Let's see, did I touch any of my guns in the last week? What did I do? I had the Ruger out for a reason. And I don't know why it was. Oh, yeah, I had the Ruger out just on the bench, just checking. Oh, the trigger. I got 3 layers of shrink sheet tubing on it. You can still feel the ridges on the trigger. It's plastic, so I'm wondering. I take my time and use a half-round file, very fine, and work them and cut, get rid of them. I don't know.
Well, isn't the trigger aluminum? It's like
No, the trigger's plastic.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, the trigger's plastic.
Well, that'll be old one guy is here, and I got to get back to Patriot Paul because I didn't call you a pussy. You were calling me a pussy. Here we go again. Anyway, if it's plastic, just take a Dremel Superfine and zip, and then polish it with the polisher to make it shiny again.
Well, it doesn't shine. It's black.
I know, but to make it smooth again.
Smooth.
If you took If you took a fine sanding drum, you're going to scratch it, and then you want to make it look good again. And another trick.
And I looked at a couple of there's like two. I can only find like 2 triggers out there, and one of them's got ridges in it, and the other one doesn't.
Oh my gosh, Patriot Paul. All right, sorry, I'm battling Patriot Paul on the side here. I'll have to watch it again. I don't even know what started all that stuff. Jag1 is here. Who else did I miss? Garage Guy's here. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Yeah, well, you could. That's an easy one if it's plastic. Wow. Plastic.
Yeah, I mean it's plastic. I'm looking at this thing was plastic, and I'm online reading. He said, "Yeah, change out that plastic trigger." Huh? Plastic? That's why I took it. I said, "That's really plastic."
Jag1 is here.
I mean, for $50, I can buy one from what's that company? It's also an M. I can't think of them. But it's funny because they made a whole kit with springs and everything else, and we're no longer producing the springs. Something must have happened.
Someone might have got a little discharge and they stopped.
Well, they changed the recoil spring on it. Okay. They had a whole kit for trigger and everything else, but we no longer sell the kits. And you can't. They don't sell the springs separately. And there's another company that had springs that doesn't sell them anymore. So I don't understand what happened with that.
Okay, sorry, Andy, again. Okay, I remember Patriot Paul, yeah. Yeah, I believe in hanging him high. Just thought, he got pulled into the media thing. I mean, these kids, I just saw a video where these kids, because of media, like TikTok and Instagram, they do little videos where they screw with people in stores. All right. And one of them was, I think it was at a gym, and the kid just went up and took this guy's hat and put it on. Just disrespectful. Took the hat right off his head. And he said, "Give me my hat back." And the kid's like acting all bad because he's on TikTok. And the guy goes, wham, slaps him across the face. And he's like, dude, he deserved it. And he gives him his hat back. These kids they've never got an ass kicking. That's a big problem. Never got an ass kicking. So social media really sucks for these kids.
Well, if that's what it takes to wake them up.
Oh, yeah, and he was fast, too. He just goes, whap. And I forget what the kid said, but it was hilarious, his reply. Oh. And there was another one. Guys at a Home Depot, an old guy, pretty big. And this kid comes up behind him with a piece of PVC and goes, right in his ear, right next. And the guy just grabs him, chucks him to the ground, headlock. And the kid's whining his ass off. He's like, kids, they have no respect. They don't get, they've never had an ass kicking. Will they do it again? No. Neither one of those kids are going to do it again. All right. Sorry, I'm rambling. Moving down some chow. All right. What's Vanessa up to? So, yeah, that should be an easy fix. Just give it I did a video last night, which never showed up last night. I decided to wait on it till the next morning, and then I said no. And I've been doing that for 3 weeks now. But it was working on a gun, always work on the cheapest part, and make sure you have a replacement part, unless you got the balls to trust yourself to do. So that was the advice on that at the end of the video. And of course I was singing in it and blah, blah, blah. But it was working on lever actions. Anyway, never hit the internet. It's on the phone, but no. I've been in a funk, Andy. You've noticed there, if you look at my videos, it's all live chats. Usually I do 3 videos a week, 4, 5, no videos. And some I deleted because I didn't like them after I loaded them up. So Uncle Jim's in a funk. Anyway, we all have our funkiness. The entire family of Red Mega. Oh, feature Paul Stringer. I don't want to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You know, I just saw a video on him. He got in an accident, and so it was a cop cam. He either went through a yellow light or hit a guy that was turning in front of him. But they actually have footage of him in a car accident. He's just really mellow and chill. He's got his brother with him, and then his mom had to come bring down the insurance paper because it wasn't in his car. And the cops couldn't figure out who was at fault. So, 2 different stories. And then when he was with the judge there, they're doing the judgment on him whenever, temporarily. He was just stone cold, no emotions whatsoever. So I don't know. I don't know if the guy's a zombie or not. Seemed like a decent kid before that. Before he went down the path of TikTok or whatever the hell. All right. Oh, let me get back down here. I'm just trying to respond to Annie. I'm sorry. Brokloader's here. Hey, Brokloader. Good to see you, Brokloader. Well, if the Marlin got broken out, might break the funk. Yeah. Well, in the video I did last night, it was on your carrier when it gets damaged from cowboy accident real fast. You could get damaged, put a big old dent in your carrier there. I showed a picture of that, and I never did the video on how to fix it and how to time. Like if you want your 357 just to shoot 38s, anything, you can time it that way. Or you can make it go the other way around. The 357 is going to be lower, and the 38 is going to be higher on your what you do to fix that problem. Never posted it. It was at the end of the video I showed last night, but I don't know. Let's see. All right, what did Vanessa do? What did you do, Vanessa? Hard to keep up with you guys. Huh. Yeah, Brokloader, you need to do a video. I'm sure your garden's done. Our neighbor gave us some garden stuff. Man, what giant carrots and beautiful tomatoes and bell peppers. Oh my gosh, they were awesome. Still eating on that stuff. Edward Petty is here. Hey, Edward. Searching for firearms near you. Mm-hmm. I always keep an eye on PSA because I don't know when they're going to have more like surplus stuff. I mean, they've had some really good deals. There's same old, but every once in a while. Yeah, garden's about dead. Yeah, I figured you were done. Yeah. We need to do a greenhouse because the critters will eat everything. So we got to do a greenhouse with mesh under the floor so they can't dig under and get in. Been putting that off for 4 years. All I got to do is worry about gravel and prepare for winter. And that's it. This winter, I'm going to load. I'm going to fill my file cabinets. They're getting empty. Just going to load all winter. Plow and load. That's it. And shoot. Lots of revolvers this winter this time. Talking garden. Yeah, I don't need it heated because we get so much sun, even in the snow. Unless it's nighttime. Yeah. All right. So what else is up, Andy?
Not much, really. Just in a little bit of a slump myself, but the weather not being right to go shooting's got me down a little bit. I'm trying to get the last test loads done. Now that I discovered the problem was the overall length.
Mm-hmm. Hobbies is here. Hey, Hobbies. I should call you Hobbies and Hammocks. Someday a bear's going to come up and see a taco dinner. Mm-hmm. I know you got bears up there. Yeah, so yeah, it sucks when you're in a funk. So especially if you do a video and you take your time and do everything and then you say, no, I don't like it. And it's just garbage. You wasted your time. I don't know. I do it for fun anyway, so it doesn't matter. There's Scotsman. There's no curvature. What is he talking about?
The Earth.
Oh. No, let's not go there anymore. Today a bear ran across the road. There you go. See? I've yet to see a bear here. There was one shot and caught right on the hill, right that you see in my backyard, but I've never seen a bear. I've never seen Pritz. So they're up deeper, further away, higher up. Time for a ciggy, I think. I'll sure scare you. Oh, so what do we talk about?
Vanessa wants to know what car it is in the background.
That's the first imported Honda to the U.S. And officially, I think they came here in '69. They had two models. This is the, what do you call it? Sedan. But what a fun little car. 55 to 60 miles per gallon. And I just bought it because I thought it was cool. I think it was $300. Love the shifter. The shifter is on, it's kind of half motorcycle engine, but the shifter is on the lower part of the dash. So it's a little higher and you just go like this. Da, 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 da. It was so cool. So yeah, that is the Honda M600 right there, Vanessa. And I can't remember if I had a 70, 71, 72. I don't know. They handled like a go-kart. I mean, you could turn that thing. Oh my gosh. And it does go on the freeway and everything. For a micro car, it did go on the freeway, no problem. Yeah, back then, 55, 60 miles per gallon. Girlfriend hated it, thought it was a clown car. You and your car, she used to say. And I'd bring that just to piss her off. I'd bring that just to piss her off. Let's see, GTO or the clown car or the Mustang. Anyway, fun, neat little car. It actually held a lot, and everything was easy and cheap to work on. What it was is Honda copied the Mini, from England. So they copied the Mini, but made it a little better in ways. So as far as in certain ways. Yeah, Vanessa, they have I could have posted a picture of this next to a Volkswagen, and this looks tiny next to a Volkswagen. Yeah, kind of. It really had good style inside and out. It was nice. You had storage in the back. And there was one somebody converted into an El Camino, so they chopped the back into a truck. And then I saw another one where they had it highly lifted 4-wheel drive. That was awesome. It's just the body sitting on a 4x4 though. But it had a nice front end, nice rear end.
I know a few people like that.
Oh. All right, take your time. The problem with that car, though, is all your buddies would go and hide it somewhere because they can pick it up. So I could lift the rear end by myself. Like if I went backwards and did a squat, I could lift the whole rear end and park it, scoot it over because it's lighter in the rear. So what else is going on here? Oh. Was John talking about his green bug? Must be. Or was it your van? I always thought Volkswagens were tweaky. I never cared for them. They're tweaky sounding.
I never even rode in one.
And then the vans. Every time you're on a hill, like going over the pass, there it is, 45 miles an hour. Get the hell out of the road. I shouldn't talk because the Honda would do that uphill. I don't know. They're cool now. The window van. You got the TV going on there, Andy?
My wife turned, I have the door closed, but she turned up the volume.
All right. Waiting on a call back. Got a leak. Got a leak. Schrader valve. Oh, leaky Schrader valve. Bummer.
Now, let's see. I did accomplish power washing my front porch and walkway and half the driveway. I did that last Wednesday in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow I'll do the other half of the driveway.
Nice.
That'll be done.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm stressed, but I'm stressed about the gravel. It rained tonight. It rained today. And the last thing I want is a mucky mess out there with a dump truck getting stuck. Hopefully that won't happen. Anyway, cool dude. Talk to the owner. He's really cool. He's going to give me a discount for bulk. Really easy to work with. So I'll probably use them from now on. You can get dirt. You can get everything there. Garden dirt, mulch, all kinds of different rocks, gravel. I know this is just super interesting to people right now. Cat rabbits. Cat rabbits are what? Oh. Well, man, what else do we talk about? Let's see. The son went shooting at the neighbor's house today. Neighbor liked his stuff. That was fun. Everything worked. I worried about, I don't like other people shooting my reloads, but everything went fine. Just because, you're responsible for it. But yeah, they had a lot of fun. Neighbor is blowing up stuff, shooting a big caliber. Oh. Yeah. I need to do some shooting. It's been a little while.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there and test the final rounds and the final loads to see how that works now and find the accuracy node.
Tactical Fud is here. Hey, Tactical Fud. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I got to test. I told my son I have so much brass to clean before it gets icky out or cold. And he said, why don't we just do a 5-gallon tumbler, make one up real quick? I'm like, no, I just do stuff in batches. I got 2 tumblers. What the hell? But it'd be nice.
Especially if you mix calipers and they get stuck together.
Yeah, I don't. That's why. Yeah, but I do have enough 9 to fill a 5-gallon bucket. But yeah, even the smaller stuff, I got a mini tumbler just so I don't have to sort. I'll never mix brass ever again. Ordered a 350-pound. This is probably the first time I got nothing to talk about. Just too damn tired. All right. Man, Gunswater's got the 4th of July going on at his place.
So shoot back.
Yep, go out and make noise. One thing I missed living in a neighborhood, we used to terrorize my son's buddy's porch. He was a few houses down, and we'd have stuff just blow up right on his porch. We'd launch them there, whether it's the air gun or the potato cannon. But we'd launch fireworks at his house all the time, and he'd do it back. It was fun.
Why does I keep having this happen to me? The channel, the YouTube page that I have up watching the chat. All of a sudden, YouTube logs me out.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. After
this chat?
Yeah, I have to relog back in. Not StreamYard, the live chat side. It's like it's been doing that lately. What the hell's going on? I'm sitting here watching the side chat. I want to go type something. I don't have a chat line. It's not there anymore. I got to reload the page, and then it says you need to log in. I go, yeah, okay.
It's weird. Maybe it's some kind of troll control I put on here. I don't know.
Oh, it might be. They keep updating Chrome with AI crap, and it's like maybe that's what's doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of seeing all these AI posts. You gotta start looking close to determine what they're posting is not real.
Yeah, I know. They've been spamming the crap out of me. New features, blah, blah, blah. There's the Honda Camino. They could have done a better job in the back end there. But the front end was always cool. I don't know. I'll take the hatchback better than that. Maybe a flatbed, 4x4. I'd like to find a body for one of these. We'd have a lot of fun with that. Couple pull start V engines in the rear. Oh well. Yeah, what do we got? 19 lurking on here. It's going to be a short chat, I can guarantee that. I don't know what these guys are talking about on the side. 188 pounds.
They're talking about their weight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to get back to about 185. 180 would be nice, but nah, it ain't happening. Got the Buddha belly from hell. I got to get off that sugar. Not the sugar itself. It's just like cranberry juice, whatever. It's got sugar in it.
Get the diet one.
Oh, it tastes like crap.
I know.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, some things are fine, like Coke Zero, stuff like that, which I don't drink much pop anyway. But yeah, you diet cranberry or something. No. No. Geez, Vanessa, I hope you eat lots of vitamins and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I got a few issues, but I'd rather not talk about it. Usually I come back from them after a couple weeks, and then something else starts up. Uh, the last one was athlete's foot. I was like, what the hell do I have athlete's foot? I'm in a dry country here. And so now I'm thoroughly washing and putting cream on my feet, and they're a lot better. But it's like athlete's foot, really? I don't remember ever having athlete's foot. Oh, speaking of House of Foot's doing okay. Other than the athlete's foot. That's going away though. That cream's working. And my wife goes, ever since I was a kid, my mom always told me, make sure to dry your toes. Dry your toes. I guess she was right. I don't know. It's dry here. You can't keep moisture on you. You don't even need a towel. Go brush your teeth and you're dry. Dry, cracked feet is dangerous. Yes, we get that because it's dry, and yeah, you definitely got to take care of that, even in the wintertime. Did your doctor relative ever help you? No. It's on my shit list. Yeah, he wouldn't do antibiotics, so I had to write it out with my immune system. Yeah,
well.
Yeah,
you keep taking those drugs, and your body doesn't do its thing anymore.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's why they don't like giving out antibiotics, because you won't be able to fight it off if you take too much of them. Thor's got the hardware out of his body. Yep, I don't have any metal in my body.
You have some remnants of lead, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, probably lead. Yeah, I've never been tested for lead. Yeah, I'm pretty careful about it though. I don't like handling it.
I always wear rubber gloves when I'm raw handling it, as far as taking wheel weights and throwing them in the pot, whatever. But once I'm casting, don't really handle the bullets after casting much. I mean, they go into I water quench them, and then I just pull out the strainer I blow it off with an air hose, put them on a towel and let them dry. And then I take them from the towel and dump them in the jug. The only time I handle them is when I powder coat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very careful about
what. And actually, I'm not really handling them either. I'm dumping them into the container, spinning it, and then picking them out with tweezers. So I'm really not touching it either till after it's been powder coated. Then I handle them and size them. But with zinc, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah. That's why I like powder coat. You encapsulate them, and then you can play with them. But yeah, I'm careful about washing my hands when I touch lead, and especially No food and smoking with lead on your hands when you got to do it. I mean, I go in the backyard. I'm picking up bullets all the time. I'm super careful. Even my belt, I'll have to hitch my belt up on my pants. I got a gun. And I come home and I even wipe down my belt in case I'm touching crap I'm picking up out of the ground and then touching my belt. So do the best I can. It doesn't matter. I was probably chewing on lead paint as a kid anyway. Rellis is here. Hey, Rellis. Um, oh.
Well, yeah, what else I did this week? I went and got my 3 20-pound propane tanks filled, came home, and then filled up my 10 1-pound jugs. And I used them for the annealer. And when I'm melting down the tin, I use one of those small camp stand things, that screws into the top of it. And that's where I melt my tin from work and make new ingots from it.
Yeah, our propane company that does the house, they used to fill our propane tanks for forging and stuff, or casting and or ingots, and then they said, "Nah, we got to stop doing that." Some kind of they don't want any issues or something like that.
Well, there's an issue. The trucks that usually come to fill your large tanks, your house, the pressure level is too great for the small tank.
Yeah, even though they've done it before and they knew how to do it, they said it's too much of a, what do you call it, issue. I don't know. Anyway, so they don't do it anymore, and it sucked because it was 99 cents a gallon. So
Well, we're not too bad over. I just filled up the tanks, and with tax, they're $20 for 20 for what are they, 20-pound tanks? Yeah, so it's $1. It's $1 a pound. Yeah,
hey, that's good.
that's what they charge when you bring them the tanks though. But
Well, that's a pound though. What's the difference between a pound and a gallon?
well, it's measured in pounds. At least that's how it's here in New York. Even my big tank outside for the house is measured in pounds.
Yeah, our house is in gallons, but I know we have a tall one. It's like 4 feet tall or whatever for the Sun's Forge. And that's the one we wanted filled. We don't care about the little ones, but I forget what that is. It's in pounds. Anyway, I'd like to convert my truck to propane just for the price. 99 cents, baby. Can't beat that. I don't care how low gas becomes. Even though it was a little higher this year.
Yeah, well, they had up here in the Northeast, they were blaming what was it? One of the refineries, there was a big storm and they had flooding, and that was the reason the price of gas went up here. So now it's kind of leveled out. Some stations are going down a little bit, right? And then I said, well, it's just in time for them when they do the conversion for winter and summer blend. So they're about to do the winter blend, so now there's going to be more shortage while they convert. So the price is going to go up again.
Patriot Paul says, I'll give you guys a progressive movement. Was neither progressive nor a movement. Discuss. What's he talking about, Andy?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Specifically, I have no idea what you're talking about. Tell you what, there's a lot of people getting fired lately for their comments. And that's good. Man, I don't even want to talk about surgeries. Yeah, I don't do the hospitals. Oh, that's a very old Saturday Night quote. Saturday Night Live. The old Saturday Night Live used to be good. I don't even know what they're doing nowadays.
Well, Saturday Night Live to me was Johnny Carson.
Well, he's talking about the show with Chevy Chase, Aykroyd.
Oh, that, okay.
Belushi, those guys were awesome. So.
Oh, the joke show. Okay.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
They weren't woke back then. Not that I can remember. No.
Johnny Carson was called The Tonight Show.
I just saw, sometimes I get feeds and sometimes they're Johnny Carson old stuff.
Yeah.
And they had Burt Reynolds on there. And I forget what that comedian's name was. He comes on and he turns his back to Burt Reynolds and just talks to Johnny Carson. And some reason Burt Reynolds got really pissed off. Oh, and then he takes a cup of water and splashes it on Burt Reynolds, trying to be funny. Burt Reynolds wasn't having none of that. So they decided to give them both cream pies. They just do the whipped cream on a plate, a paper plate, and have them go at it to settle it type deal. And Burt's serious. He's serious. And so they both do this. And Burt just full on, as hard as he can, slammed his hand right into the guy's face, almost knocked him out. And that was on YouTube. And I'm like, damn, Burt was serious about it. He didn't like that guy. And the guy had it coming. And Burt gave it to him. That guy never got an ass kicking. Now he does. So now he knows. What was that comedian's name? What did he used to do? I think he was on Saturday Night Live for a while, the later ones. Man. Anyway, I like Burt Reynolds. He's got his own humor. He's actually not self-conscious. He doesn't try and be anything else. He, like in real life, he showed when he was old and hunched over and everything, and he didn't care. I like that. Let's see. But yeah, if you notice, and if you skip the Trans Am movies, Burt Reynolds kind of has his own subtle humor, and there's some that are really hilarious. Just says something real subtle, and it's hilarious as hell. So I actually liked the guy. Yeah, it's too bad he got old, got all hunched over and decrepit. It happens. Big steaming pot. Oh, the Kimmel thing. Here you go. Yeah, entertainment's really bad. I saw somebody's video bitching about whatever the last awards were. I don't watch any awards. It was so woke. and pathetic. It's like these people are still clinging onto this stuff. It was disgusting. And then the people that chose to win the award, it's just really sicko over there in Hollywood. You know, it's sick. Yeah, Carson was pretty cool back in the smoking days and everything where they smoked on set, and it was good stuff.
So I used to go to my trade school in Manhattan, 34th Street, 8th Avenue. And we used to once in a while get out, and we used to go down by the studios and go to the back doors. And we got lucky one time. Johnny Carson and Raquel Welch come out the back door. That was so cool. They like, we just like, it was like, oh, here comes some more people that just want autographs. So I don't want your damn autograph. I said, I just want to say howdy, and I watch your show, and, that's it. I said, and he looked at me like, what do you mean you don't want my autograph? So I said, it's a piece of paper. Okay. I said, so me shaking your hand is worth more to me than that signature on a piece of paper that nobody knows where I got it from. So it was pretty cool. And Raquel Welch was pretty cool. I really didn't expect her to be too friendly towards anybody, but she was. So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing lasted 8 minutes. It was not like, we stood there for 2 hours bullshitting.
Yeah.
We used to catch people walking out the back door. We didn't know who the hell they were. But we were told a lot of times Johnny Carson will go out the back door after the show, after the taping of the show. And we were there like usually about a half hour after the show finished taping for the day. So we got lucky once.
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrities that are really cool. There's a couple rules, though, that they don't like. And one is don't bug them when they're eating at a restaurant. They're just having dinner, leave them alone.
Yep.
And the other one is don't hug them or grab them. Taking a picture, they don't like that either. Other than that, they're fine. Just treat them like normal people, which they are. They are. They're just, I'd be like, hey, how's it going? Anyway, that's two things they don't like for sure. And then messing with their family or anything like that, kids.
Well, my big thing was once I started going to the drag races, the pros at Englishtown, and I had my race car at the time. So what I used to do in the beginning was we used to walk around pictures of my car and have them sign that. And when they got up and they heard, is this your car? And our conversation, they started the conversation. So it was pretty good. So I got to meet the one person that blew me away was, oh God, he just started racing again. What's his name? Oh man, can't think of his name right now. He stopped talking, and signing everybody's autographs. Just started bullshitting with me. He says, how fast is that? He says, that, it runs in the 11s. He says, yeah, I have a 79 also. And he says, that's about what I run. It's like I practice my lights with it and stuff. And it's like the conversation went on for about 12 minutes and people were just standing around and say, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
That was fun. And then what got me in with all the people, because I was into photography. And so I would walk around and catch pictures of unexpected pictures. They didn't even know I took the picture. Okay, some of them had their families there, so I caught pictures of them with their families and stuff. And John Force's two youngest daughters and the oldest daughter, they had the pits were next to each other, the girls. And I took so many pictures of them. And the following year, when I went back, I brought them all the pictures and gave them to them. And they said, wow, I don't even remember being, posing. I said, you weren't. I was just taking pictures. And they were looking at stuff. And to this day, on one of the her website on the Facebook, and it says, Andy, she goes, I got a message. Thanks, Andy, for liking the page, whatever. I says, you obviously don't remember me. And I post one of the pictures privately to her, and they come back, that was you? You know, this is, yeah, it was a long time ago. You girls were 16, you know. And so they have that memory of me. Not that it's important, but they remember those pictures. And I did that with quite a few of the drivers. Caught them. Gary Selzy. It was Father's Day weekend, and he had his wife and his kid there, and I'm there after the show, and he was out there with his kids, playing with his kids, running around and whatnot, and his wife, and I got all these pictures. The following year, I went up there, and I said, look, I said, I know it's not normal for you to get Gary out here to see me. I said, because you don't know me from nowhere. And I said, and so I grabbed a few of the pictures. This is, I took these pictures last year, and I want to give them to him. That's all it is. You know, I don't want to be there for 10 minutes bullshit when I might know he's busy. I just want to give him these pictures. So can I take one picture? And they said, sure. So I gave the guy a picture, and he went into the trailer, and Gary comes walking out with the thing in his hand, and he said, and you know, they pointed to me, and he comes over. He says, "You took this picture?" I said, "Yeah, I took a whole bunch of them. Here they are. I took these for you. Memories that you would never have because you wouldn't have. No one would have taken the pictures for you." And he used one of the pictures in the cockpit of his race car for the next 3 years. You know, so it was pretty cool.
So yeah, that is cool.
To me, that's the fun. Those are the celebrities, and I'm a down to earth person. So, you know, and it's like I did something for them. For what reason? You know. So I appreciate things like that.
Yeah, I can't imagine like being a huge star where everyone mobs you all the time, can't go anywhere. Picture, autograph. You know. That would be brutal.
You know, to say, like, even with that day with Johnny Carson and Raquel Welch, it says, look, you can give me a picture with a signature on it, and people are going to say, I just bought the picture somewhere. I said, so, you know what? It's the same as saying, I met you in person. They won't believe it either. So, you know, I said, I'd rather meet you in person, say hi, and have a 2-second conversation than have your autograph on a picture that anyone can buy in the store. And, you know, and that was the part. They both respected that as well. So coming my way, yeah, they got a major problem on one of the roads over there. A big water main broke on one of the roads that is being closed down for the Cup. And there's water everywhere over there.
Yeah, what is that course? That's a really nice course. Gosh darn it. Famous course. Damn it. Uncle John, what course is that? Son of a bitch.
Bethpage
Black. Yeah. So
I just know the town. I don't know the name of it. I'm not into golf, so.
Yeah, the woke will try and call it something else, but it's Bethpage Black. They'll probably take the black out for some stupid reason. I don't even know why it's called black. Oh, well.
Yeah, I got all those Patriot Paul. I got so many stop action pictures at the top end of the track when they're doing 300 miles an hour. Stop action pictures. So I don't even know where I have half of those pictures anymore. They're buried somewhere in a box.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing a guy's house, basketball player. And he's just a regular guy, you know. I'd wake him up every morning. Probably he was taking a dump, and he'd come out in this robe just like you. And anyway, just regular guy. And then one time I said, you know, you average 26 points a game and blah, blah, blah. And he was out, you know, throwing hoops, and he started smiling like, wow, you remember that? Because it was a long time ago, you know. And then so I bought some magazines with him on the cover and some cards. And I had him sign them for my friends, Uncle John included. And he goes, okay, what do you want me to say? And I'd say something really stupid, and he'd look at me like, you want me to put that on his, anyway, it was hilarious. One of them was, it was one of my golf buddies, and John's buddy. One of them says, he wrote, you got a problem with that, Skippy? I told him to say that, and he's looking at me like, what the hell? We're just in his office, just chilling. Anyway, guy used to be a stud. He passed away. He played for Boston. He coached for the Jazz. Anyway, genuine good guy, great family. The wife was totally awesome. Actually, when I left, they were trying to convert me because I was a heathen smoker. And they gave me a Bible and signed it. They signed it to your family and stuff when I left, when I was done there. It was pretty funny. I wasn't expecting that. I think they gave it to me for Christmas or something. Speaking of Shirley, that was pretty funny when I wrote that out, Andy. It said Shirley. Inside joke between me and Andy. All right.
Yeah, I still have Shirley sitting on my loading bench.
Yeah, I know. I still have molds with the stickers.
I don't know. I did. The stickers were not say before my time, but before I knew who she was. So
yeah, Ginger
I didn't have any stickers.
Yeah, for people that don't know, the molds were inspected by usually Ginger and Shirley. And then they went to numbers because we were given crap. You get a mold and say, oh, what's this? Shirley. You didn't, Shirley was good. Her molds were always good. Anyway, I think Lee caught wind of that and gave him numbers, which sucks. Let's see. I'm going to have to pull up Beth Page on my.
The other person I met, which was, I had a customer when I had my computer stores in Port Washington, and they did, how would you call it? Topographical maps for companies that were like trying to build things on Long Island and stuff. And I was doing work for the main accounting guy there, helping him with a lot of stuff with the computers. And the first time I actually went to his place and met him, he had a picture of Chuck Connors hanging in his office. And I said, oh, nice picture. I said, yeah, he goes, he's one hell of a guy. He says, what do you mean? He says, oh, he's here all the time, man. I says, he's friends with his company. He's got, knows everybody here and whatnot. And he says, that's a real picture of him. That's not like some poster, it's actually, the real thing signed by him. And I said, that's cool, man. And he says, yeah, maybe someday you'll get lucky and you'll meet him. And he set up, not knowing, he used to take me once a year to a dinner somewhere, a nice place, not as off the wall expensive place, but a nice restaurant to go to for like thanking me for the things I did for them. And so I go there and I said, I'm here with a pot for this guy's name. And he goes, hey, we'll bring you to his table. I go there and there's Chuck Connors sitting there. That's when I met him. I had dinner with him and whatnot. You would never even have no clue who he was when you sat down with him like that. It just was a regular person.
Yeah. Most of them are, some of them get weirded out, they think they're something special, but most of them are just regular Regular people.
Well, I don't want to say most of them, but except the ones that are far left reaching.
Yeah, and then you get
The woke group. The woke group of them,
Yeah. I would have loved to met John Wayne just to have a drink with him and talk crap. He was a man's man, told it like it was. Obviously, now I went brain dead. Steve McQueen. I could see me and Steve McQueen riding mini bikes together. Yes. Because we both rode mini bikes. That would be awesome. Yeah, I think one of my bucket lists would have been riding mini bike with Steve McQueen and having it on video. That would.
Oh yeah, of course, because nobody would know who it was. No one would believe that one.
Yeah.
It's I never met a lot of different people, but I met a few, and I mostly keep that to myself because you talk to some people that look at you, yeah, right. And I said, okay, I remember not to even talk about it no more. But, yeah, I mean, I could have walked by people every day in the city and wouldn't know who they were. So,
Mm-hmm. I know if I was really famous and it was really annoying, I just wear a disguise.
It was not even point out, there are actors that when they play a part, they look different than they do in real life because of the makeup, or they have to grow a beard or their hair changed or whatever. So you may not notice them. Okay, and so again, I worked in the city, 8th Avenue, Madison Square Garden. It's like I worked. My school was 1 block from there, and I used to take the train in every day to that location. And you never know who you could bump into. I mean, that's very, very busy back then compared to now and stuff. I mean, we used to take walks down to the what do we call it? The Hooker Avenue, where all the girls were hanging out trying to sell themselves to you. It was like we used to laugh and have fun down there, goof around. Just all the sex shows, stores, and things. It was just a piss to walk around that neighborhood to see the different levels of people that actually walk through that neighborhood, through that area. Hey, Rollis.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey, Rollis. Pat is here. Hey, West Covina Dodge.
Sure, they all come in when I'm getting ready to go to bed. Next will be Tin Man.
Well, I just got a text from Preacher. I sent him something about, I don't know, I guess they have constables over in that state where they're not really cops. And he gets into it with a lady, and then the cops come and have to split it up. The guy has a badge, but he's not really a cop. Anyway, Preacher just replied back. Yeah, and I probably, man, that was late at night. Hope it didn't wake him up. Hope he turns his phone off when I text. Anyway, how's it going, Rollis?
Pretty good so far. Did you pull a video down, the one that response to Scotsman about the bolt action ARs?
Yeah, I pulled that. It sucked. So.
Oh, you did pull it down? Okay.
Yeah, it just sucked. It's rambling, and I didn't like it. So, yeah, there's a couple of videos I pulled. You watch it, and then you go, "Why in the hell did I upload that?"
Yeah, well, believe it or not, I don't know if that's why I was wondering why I never saw a comment. If you saw the comment I left, that I was looking to do possibly a 300 blackout upper, and I was looking at the bolt. Because I've got the lower, so it doesn't matter, And I'm like, I don't need another caliper to load for.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't mention. There's a lot of things I talked too much in it. If you're comparing it to a regular bolt action rifle, a regular bolt action is going to be smoother, beefier, all that. But the beauty of the AR bolt actions is they're really light. Magazines, compatibility, any lower, any stock, any tattoo. And you can't do that with the bolt action because say you put a stock on your bolt action so it takes bigger magazines or removable, that costs a lot of money. You can get the whole upper, you get the whole upper for that. Yeah.
I don't, I was like been toying what else could I get that would be fun? And then I was thinking the 300, not the black, the one, the legend. The 350 Legend is what I was thinking of. Sorry. 350 Legend. I have a 300 blackout upper and a right bolt action. But the 350 Legend, I said, well, that's pretty damn cheap, $259 complete. Just slap it on and I'm ready to go. And it's like, okay, and as I started looking into it, I said, okay, there we go again. Another set of dies. It's basically a 9mm bullet, isn't it?
357.
Oh, it is 357.
Yeah, the 350 Legend.
Yeah, I thought it was 355.
Yeah,
does Jamie have to have a custom barrel made?
Well, Kenny was making them in 357 because he shot my taco bullet and it mushroomed beautiful. So
well, Kenny did it in the beginning when they didn't even know what the hell it was going to be.
Yeah, you're right. It is more like a 9 now that I think about it. But Kenny was chambering them in 357.
Yeah, but he shot my zinc out of that. The 147 grain zinker out of it.
Yeah, and he shot
9mm.
Yeah, the taco bullet. That was a 183 grain. 182 grain, and that thing mushed on jugs.
But I just said, and then the worst part is I can't make the brass. So it's like I went out looking at the brass prices. Are you kidding me? And I haven't seen any of that at the range where I go.
Yeah, I just don't like it because it headspace off the case mouth. So if you got a semi-auto, a bolt action, no big deal. And when it came out, Winchester was all over the place. The brass was wrong.
That's what I'm saying. That's all worked out, but that hurt the bullet. That hurt the caliber. That's all the problems in the beginning. But
now I'm sure it's sorted out. Winchester's really gone downhill, though. Jeez, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, you're right, though. It's probably 356.
Yeah, it's that I remember Kenny having, trying to lower 357 bolts, and he's, we had to size them down. And
well, I thought he was chambering them for actual 357 bullets. I don't know. It's been a while. Been 3 years.
Well, he didn't last long with that 350 Legend. Didn't make a whole bunch of videos about it at the time, and because he was having not much trouble with it.
Well, he had trouble with Winchester's factory ammo because the bullets were sitting back. Their brass, the length of the brass was all over the place, and it had spaces off the case mouth, and that's why you have to trim them exactly for your chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And he got frustrated because people were like, "Oh, I'm an expert, and I'm going to trim it my way." It's like, no, some of the guns he made for those people, he's like, no, you have to trim it to this. That's what the chamber is.
Yep. So I backed away. I said, do I really need something else to shoot? As it is, like when I pull up and get down to the range with my wagon of guns, they go, how many rifles did you bring this time? I never bring more than 4. Okay, and then and pistols. Sometimes I bring no pistols. Sometimes I bring one. Sometimes I bring 4 pistols and 1 rifle. Depends on my mood. But I like shooting the rifle better. I find it more relaxing. Not that I don't enjoy shooting the other bolt guns, but I'm, like I said, ever since I decided not to shoot 38s out of a 357, that's where my Dan Wesson's not clean enough. I still have to kind of push the bullet in a little bit by hand. There's still a carbon ring in there. So when I finish the season, I will be spending time on that. I mean, I have stuff to clean, and I just, tried to do it quick, and I didn't let it soak and things like that. But last time I cleaned it, I couldn't even get a 357 in. And I have this stuff that I bought. Take the chamber out, and I put the revolver, and I put it in the electric cleaner, like whatever the ultrasonic cleaner with this carbon stuff that I bought, and I usually just let it sit in there about 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. Take it out, just brush it quick, and everything fits. So I just don't like having to taking the revolver apart to soak it like that. But
no, you're probably better off. You're talking about your cylinder.
Yeah.
Probably better off just taking a short rod with a brush and spinning it on a drill with solvent. That'll polish her up. And then use some JBs on a patch and spin it again.
Yeah.
I shoot a lot of shorter rounds in the larger chambers, and I don't have any problem. You'll feel it, when it's way overdue to clean. I used to be a big cleaner. Now I'm not. So if I grab a gun, I'll give it a quickie clean right before I shoot it, which is bad. I used to have everything spotless, and now too much of a pain.
Well, what it was is when I started shooting the Dan Wesson again, when the range, they opened the pistol side again, and I started shooting it a lot. I have so many wad cutters from 30 years ago, and that's mainly what I was shooting out of it. And then when I finally decided to try a red dot on it, and I finally got it working right and stuff, then I started playing with other bullets, and that's when I started realizing I was having an issue getting 357s to seat. So I really cleaned it up, and I was fine, but I still have a lot of this 38 ammo I was shooting out of it, and it's backed up again. So I said, you know what? Though all those 38s could shoot out of my little 2-inch Smith Model 36, and everything else will be 357, and that's that.
Rollis, do you have a 350 or 400 Legend?
No,
right
but
back.
I was just looking at the Smith Wesson website, seeing because they have a 357 Legend in the X-frame, and I was looking to see what diameter bullet that they're actually running on that, but it didn't say. It just said 350 Legend, so I'm going to assume it's a 355. I just never got into playing.
Yeah, for lead it'd be 356.
Yeah. So so I just never, like you said, got into it. Though it actually has some. I was looking. Just so happened I was looking at that a couple of weeks ago, and it does have some pretty interesting velocities. As far as coming out of the X-frame. So, but I just, if I still lived in Ohio and if I was a deer hunter, I'd have some kind of 350 Legend so I could shoot, because they're still limited to straight wall.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
As of right now, no.
Yeah, I have 357 maximum. That's fine for me. But I get it for people that need straight wall for hunting and everything. I get it. There's a lot of energy and all that. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Texas 6 is here. Hey. Texas. Yeah.
Andy was just talking about shooting up some old wad cutters from 30 years ago. for my 45, for my Model 25, the 45 Colt, I found some old semi-jacketed hollow points, hollow points that I loaded up. And I know I bought those damn things in 93, 94. So they're going to get shot up finally after 35 years.
Indestructible, Patriot Paul. That's all I got to say. Indestructible. All right. Sorry about that.
That's. I'm not a big iPhone guy, so I'm going to fall on Patriot Paul's side just to, because I just don't like Steve Jobs' attitude towards his customers.
Patriot Paul, wrong side again. Hey, I've had Androids. Never again. I don't want a little computer as a phone. I want something indestructible, and you should see my last phone. I should show you what it looks like, and it still works. Beat the living snot out of the thing. Had it for how many years? Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm going Apple, not Android. Android crapped out quick. They're all China anyway, Patriot Paul. What are you talking about? Everything's China. All the phones are China. What are you talking about? Come on.
My Samsungs are made in Vietnam.
Okay, Vietnam. That's okay. All right. That's all right. You've driven over it, but you never did videos all winter in the snow with a cracked screen from dropping and kicking the snot out of it. Editing billions of hours, which really, that's hard on phones.
I think that's the one place where the camera setup, the rest of the phone I have no use for, but that camera and the editing, I'd like to give one a try. Just to see how much better it is. So,
yeah.
But,
I do. I don't use my phones to make my videos, so I'm trying to work out a way because I can get enough room if the range isn't super busy. I can take the shooting point next to me and put all my shit on it. So I theoretically can put a mini tripod on top of that bench with my notebook computer and take some videos. But if the place is crowded, I can't.
Right. Sometimes they just look at me because I got two cameras up and I use one of them to monitor the targets. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I can also watch that through the scope, but I use like I said, afterwards I have the camera, and then I can go back and review all that. Plus, it does make the shooting a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I bring the targets home with me and sit down and show the targets. It's just too much. I gotta carry too much shit to the range.
Tell me about it. It's like, I'm going to take a gun and go shoot some 10 cans. Next thing you know, you got 10 guns, 5 different types of ammo for each one, and 10 tripods, one for the chronograph, one for the camera or for the target camera, one for the camera that you're using for the gun, and who knows?
Target camera, I would never put one downrange. The people that go to my range, sometimes you get the guy next to you. He can't find his target.
You're going to get one of those guys. Yeah.
I have gotten that many times where I'm saying, what bullet holes are these?
That's the advantage. The newest camera I bought, which is anyways, the newest camera I bought, I can zoom out. I can record hits out to 500 yards. Especially on still targets, it shows up really good.
Yeah, I've seen you do 400s, and that's a camera zoom.
Yeah, that's zoomed. So
wow, that's not a spotting scope. Wow.
yeah, no, that's not a spotting scope. And then yeah, so it I think about 500 is where it's going to max out. I've used it on 500. I never put it up there because it was just like a couple shots. But like at 400, if you're shooting paper targets, it's kind of hard to really differentiate them. You know, which
Yeah.
but that's probably more the target that I use than anything. But still playing with it gives me an excuse to make more video and try more stuff.
Michael is here. Hey, Michael.
Yeah, well, if I stop bringing the notebook computer, which I really don't have a travel case for, because it's in the basement. That's where I use it. That's what I use to make my videos. So I have to, no big deal to get a little case. I get about, if I turn it on, I get just over 2 hours of on time on the computer. So I would have to like do my thing in that 2 hour time span and go from there. I'm not going to start playing with extra battery packs and stuff like that. This is a real computer. This isn't, some low end nothing.
I'm glad you said something about computer case because I promised one of my dispatchers I'd give her an old computer case the company gave me as a driver appreciation. But yeah, I have one of those big not solar, but one of those big auxiliary battery packs that I sometimes have to use.
Yeah. Again, it's how many things do I bring to the range? It's just not worth it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I have only one video that I made, which is the 4th of July thing, Left Freedom Ring, where I had I bought a pair of eyeglasses with a camera in the center.
Okay.
And I used that. And it's the only thing I ever used them for was $65. That's down the drain. And that was Texas, 6-shooter Texans that showed that. And I bought one above what he had. And it worked. But, you're trying to aim. So the camera's looking down. You get so much wasted footage. So it was...
I find now, like yesterday when I was shooting, I was just shooting at 15 yard, in the pistol base. So I was able to set everything up and get everything squared up, and I was able to take pictures shooting the target, and take pictures of me shooting, and or video, I should say, and it was real quick. And this new camera actually has a pretty good life. The battery lasts pretty long on it. But once it starts to go, it just it's just like watching a rock fall.
I should take my digital SLR with me one day. And
that's all this.
Well, this one's not a new one. This one is maybe 8 years old. It doesn't touch 4K, but I have a real large lens for it. So
most people. I run everything on 4K, but I have a 1 terabyte SD card in the new camera. So I can afford that. I can afford the room. And like I said, I'll put up with dragging all that stuff around because, part of it's just neat to do it and actually get it done. But most people, as long as you have even 780, but or 740, as long as you're running 1080 and you have decent sound, they'll tolerate the little lower quality of, still high definition. It's just not, super ultra, 4K. So if, so I switch back and forth all the time. Hell, my phone only does 1080. My Luminex, which is an old Panasonic. Okay, my other one's a Canon, but the Panasonic, it only does 1080. So and then if you really want to get creative, you just run it all in through your video editor on the computer or your laptop, and it'll in your 4K stuff, it'll bring it down to 1080.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, most people are perfectly fine with 1080. Yeah, as long as it's
I should dig out. I have an old Sony cam. I don't want to call it a camcorder, but Sony with a memory device in memory cards in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I used to do all the drag racing videos and stuff that I did with that, and the same with my digital SLR. A lot of drag racing stuff I did with that. But I normally only took still pictures with that. It's a 35 millimeter digital SLR, but it does do MPEG, so MP4s, and so I should bring that, because then it's just a camera case. It's nothing major. Don't need a big crazy tripod, a short tripod sitting on the bench next to me.
Right. Yeah, just one of those little UFO $25. They call them the UFOs. They flex everywhere, and you can wrap them around stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's matter of fact, Preacher did a video about this type of tripod years ago, but they're like $20-$25 on Amazon.
No, but even if I have full size tripod, it's only folded up. It's only like 16 inches tall, whatever it is. So it's not a big deal. But I'm gonna have to bail out though. There's been a weekend. The painter Spackler was here today. We're in the last room. We're made good progress today. Tomorrow I got the cleaning lady in early, so time for me to hit the sack.
Well, you have a good one, and we'll see you shortly, I guess.
Shortly?
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, Saturdays are coming up quicker and quicker every year.
Yes, they are. Yeah. All right, guys. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see everybody on wherever I see you.
All right.
Friday nights or tonight on Saturday night.
Yep.
Good night, Andy, and thanks for coming on.
You got it. I will never miss coming on unless there's something I just can't help but to not be on. I make it my business to be on.
All right.
All right, everyone. Take care.
All right. Have a good one now. Yeah. I like using the phone because it's boom bang pow. I'm just the problem is I'm using the old version, and I don't think it'll let me do 4K. The phone will, but I don't think the editing will let me do it. So.
Yes, Cinemaster won't let you do 4K. You're gonna have to, even if you buy the upgraded one, you still. And here's the thing with Cinemaster: if you get, the easiest thing for me to do is just if I use especially the new Canon and I do everything in 4K, I run it through my editing program here on the computer, and I make it into MP4, and then I transfer it to the phone. So, like that long range stuff. It's just easier to. Because Cinemaster, for some reason, won't recognize the Canon's. There's all kind of proprietary stuff going on with anything I can figure, and it won't downgrade it to 1080 on its own. So it's just easier for me to go in there and and for some certain reason, I can't get good audio levels.
Oh. Yeah.
So I have one video right now, has like maybe 800-900 hits, views. And everybody's bitching about the music bed, but I don't want to pull the video down because I'm not even sure where all the raw video is. I didn't save the.
Yeah.
And it's like one of my most popular videos, and because everybody's bitching about it,
yeah,
I get a little bit of heat because of it.
I know, I get that a lot. I have to turn the sound up in editing. For some reason, the new phone has awesome battery life. I mean, forever. But the sound isn't as loud as my other. Now, maybe it's my phone cover protector, but I don't think so. It's open. So I don't get that. And some people don't have loud enough speakers. I mean, even on my iPad, I can hear everybody. I don't get it. So a lot of times I got to crank it up in editing 200. You know,
Yeah.
your max double, and it still doesn't sound loud at all.
Well, see, that's like, well, the one that everybody's bitching about. I remember, yeah, I kept the music bed really low, but I just wanted to just be just there, yeah, after the introduction where it drops down.
Mm-hmm.
And when I probably watched it 2 or 3 times before I rendered it, and it was fine. And then when I watched the after rendering, it's like, that's a little bit louder than I expected. But then now I go back and I watch it on YouTube. It's just like, yeet. But like I said, I don't want to pull it down. You smoke the cigarette and tell a story. I'm going to go take a leak real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, I can get on Patriot Paul's butt right now. Oh, we're going to do it again. Yeah, that's why you use your phone as a phone. Yeah, but Patriot Paul, do you do many videos? Come on. Do you know how fast I can edit a video? And I'm talking about with stuff in it, all right? Not just, oh, here I am shooting at something. No, I'm talking about production videos. I could lambaste it on the phone. Just do next swing, dude, speed, sound, trip, splice, boom, bang, pow. I should show people how fast I can edit on a phone. Now, if you put me on a computer, oh my God, what the hell is this? And then you got to do the thing, and God, maybe I get used to a computer, but for me, I'm just sticking with what I know. Beep, beep, bop, 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 bop. People say, oh, it's so much work. It's not frickin' work to put out a video. And the ones that complain have the shittiest videos. All right? The shittiest videos. And they're complaining? No. I don't want to hear any bitching about editing in videos. Yes, my sound sucks. I can't crank it up anymore. Whatever. But you can't tell me I don't just sit there and do something just super simple. I mean, that's boring to me. Anyway, that's why I like using the phone.
There you go. Yeah, Susan's watching on the other room, and where the bathroom is, I can hear the computer and her. And that one, I'm hearing like a hundredth of a second delay. It's like, oh. Yeah.
Paul, your PC takes forever to just heat up and boot up. Bam! I hit an iPad. It's on. I'm playing. I'm running.
We talked about this a few weeks ago, and I think my next thing is going to be, at least a good stand-up mic, like what Ozark and
Tin Man,
all of them, and all of them are running at 1776, and I guess the good one's like less than $200. I mean, and we're talking high super fidelity. Yeah.
Did Pat do a video tonight? Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gonna have to check.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know. I'm on a live chat now. I can't look.
Well,
yeah, but
that's why
Pat doesn't complain.
That's why you need to have. See that's why you need to have an old tablet in the background where you can just watch. That way you can. Oh, almost lost you there.
Yeah, you were lagging a little bit, or it's me. Let me see. Mm-hmm. Check the battery. No, I'm good. Yeah, I've tried the microphones you stick on your shirt, but when you move, it goes. So I got to get a higher quality one, I guess, for Bluetooth for sound. Anyway, I'm not sitting in no chair. I can take the phone, shoot, walk in the garage, edit a video, walk in the living room, edit my video, whatever, wherever I am. I don't need a big computer with me.
Well, but the point is, we have so many options now, and now even the high grade stuff's going, starting to get, people are selling the used stuff. Yeah. The question is, how much do you trust eBay to buy stuff on there? Which I don't trust eBay at all. And but yeah, I mean, it just yeah. So you can buy some used stuff and still have a good. Well, shit, I didn't realize this. I've never been subscribed to West Covina Dodge.
Oh, geez.
I know, right?
That's bad. Oh. That's very bad. Bad.
Well, I just took care of it. It's
all right. Hey, yeah. It's a good thing. Patriot Paul, there's a thing about tapping on your screen. Okay, I can't do it here. You got to use the keyboard. But you go on an iPad and you don't need to all that stuff. And you can scroll, which I do a lot. Boom, done with that guy. Blam. Anyway, to each their own. Float your boat, okay? I just don't like phones, and I don't like sitting at a TV, and I don't like sitting at a computer. I like to walk around mobile style, go take a piss in the backyard while I'm editing a video. No big deal.
Jim likes free balling. He likes free balling. Just letting it all hang out.
Speaking of which, I do have to piss. I'll be back in a minute. What do you got there?
The tape of things to come, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thor got on my ass about this a couple weeks ago, and I'm not quite starting yet, but I'm getting my stuff put together and just getting everything ready for during the Christmas break. I'm going to try my hand at actually bullet casting. So, and
now just a bit of warning, okay? You're about to raise your foot and go over the threshold and step into a much bigger world.
The rabbit hole. The rabbit hole.
Yeah, and hey man, we're here to catch you, man. You got any problems or you got any, things like, gosh, I don't know what I'm doing wrong or whatever. Get with Jim. Jim's an expert, and he's an expert in instruction. So, he's great. And I think that you're probably going to sit back and go, man, all the money I just threw into the grinder over jacketed bullets and buying bullets over the years, because I'll tell you what, dude, man, once you start casting, it's cool because once you develop a load that shoots accurately, okay, it's a very accurate round and you made it, you can make 1,000 of them. You make 2,000 of them. You can practice with that bullet forever, and you're going to get better and better and better. Pretty soon, you will get into a stage like, even hobbies, Hobo, hobbies up there in Canada. He prefers his cast bullets. He doesn't want to go out and buy them. He has some jacketed bullets, but he prefers his jacketed bullets. And I know that Jim does, and I do too. Once you start casting, man, it really does open up a big world. I'm envious of you in a way because you've got a lot of learning ahead and a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. A lot of fun, dude. It is. It's a lot of fun, and you get this positive feedback, on what you are making.
Yeah. I've been using just lead, like either from like Rocky Mountain Reloading or who the hell else. There used to be a company out of Pittsburgh called Penn Bullets. I used to use them. And then there's the one, Fred, I can't just there's 2 or 3 cast bullet companies that I've been buying from for literally 20 and 30 years. but just I've never started doing it myself. And it was like, well, because I like metal casting. I do brass. I do brass and copper and aluminum. But I've just never actually played with lead. So
well, if you go online, you go on eBay or you go to some other sites, I'm going to tell you, you can find places that sell wheel weights, wheel weights, for like you buy like 50 plus pounds for like $70,
right?
Shipped to your door. And I'm going to tell you what, if you can move it into your budget once a month, you can get a whole pile of ingots already set and ready to go, and just throw them in there, melt them down, make bullets. And you got to figure there's 7,000 grains in a pound of material. Right. You just divide that up into the amount of grains that you're casting per bullet, and that'll give you how many bullets you're going to cast. Like, I think it's like 200 grain bullets. It turns out to be like 35 or 37 bullets per pound.
Okay. Yeah.
So 10 pounds is going to give you 370 bullets or something like that.
So for this first cycle, I already have a real small pile of lead bullets that I've just picked up at the range and stuff. Matter of fact, yesterday I was digging in the backstop, getting stuff. But my pile is pretty low right now, so I'm just gonna bite the bullet and just go to Roto Metals and get their hardball for this first set, and then that way I don't have to worry about getting a perfect cast or perfect type of lead 10 and all that mix. And I'm just going to play with that first. And thing is, Roto Metal has a facility down in Orlando, and if I can ever get a load got in there, I'll just make the order the night before and just go pick it up right there at their facility. But this first, like I said, this first cycle, I'm going to just order about that's 5 pound bars. So. Mm-hmm. If you order right now, they're on sale. If you order $125 worth, or no, I'm sorry, $150 worth, you'll get free shipping out of it and stuff. And it'd be next day for me from out of Orlando. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and spend that little bit of money and just have them ship, get it. And then once I get the hillside dug out, I know you guys do all the time, but
there's nothing wrong with range recovery. There's nothing wrong with range recovery. Nothing's changed.
Oh yeah.
It goes out the end of the barrel and it hits the dirt. You take it out of the dirt, you put it back in your pot. It's the same as you went ahead and cast it. Maybe you might have lost a little bit of tin or something because of the casting process. You can always add that back in. There's just range recovery lead is the way to go. I wish I had a bullet trap. Actually, most of my stock in ingots is range recovery that I got from the old range that closed out here. We actually dug it out with a backhoe, and we had a shaker and everything. And me and the guy went ahead and divided up the lead. I ended up with about 2,500 pounds of lead. Yeah. So I really wasn't worried about recovery. A lifetime supply.
A couple times, every year or so, they'll have people come in and they'll recover it themselves, but then they do it to sell it, and they don't sell it to the club members for whatever reason. But in the backyard, I have a big cardboard box full of rubber mulch. So we're talking like about 3 foot deep of mulch. And as far as handgun rounds go, it'll stop just about anything as long as you hit it square. and about once a year, I just rebuilt it a couple weeks ago, so I got a bunch of lead out of that one. Well, I don't shoot in the backyard a lot because then I wind up getting in arguments with the neighbors. They're tolerant, so I keep it. I keep it low volume.
Right.
Suppressors.
Got other things. I got other things to buy first.
Yeah.
What? Okay, and there is back in the late or early 90s, the SILs had a HK. I think it's called the USP 45, and it was a 45 ACP, obviously, and it was set up to be what they would call an offensive pistol. It was designed not as a backup, but to be the main weapon projects. And you could still buy them new for like $2,200, $2,300. And this is the one that I'm definitely going to put a suppressor on, not for the neighbors or anything. I just want that look. Yeah, I'm going for the cosplay, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, the Marines and the special operations, the SEALs and stuff, they were all issued that.
Yeah.
And one thing that they didn't have back then, they didn't have the holster wear or whatever to keep those two together, when they were out on operations. So they complained about that. They said, what's the difference between having this and having an HK, MP5 with a suppressor on it? It's the same thing. So they kind of abandoned the HK for that reason, but it was a good pistol. It was reliable and everything. It comes a point, when you start adding suppressors on pistols, you really sacrifice the size of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
well, that's my biggest complaint about using a silencer on a handgun. You've taken the theory behind a handgun is to be small, light, compatible, or compact. And then all of a sudden you're sticking, especially the old school, suppressors on them, and that kind of takes away from the idea of having one. But like I said, just for the friggin', I'm going to get a suppressor for the old AR of mine, that 7.5 inch, anyways. So, I guess I'm going to get drug into the suppressor game, whether I like it or not.
Okay. What's funny is, even down there on the pier, when I left, that was 2000. The Marines, we had a watch of guys that would go out, and they were called Strike Force, and like terrorist groups and things like that. And they had all their paraphernalia with them, but they used MP5Ks, and I was like, I thought you guys got rid of those. He said, get rid of these. Oh man, you'd be out of your mind. This is a fantastic firearm. So the Navy's never getting rid of these ever. Yeah, MP5K.
Okay, suppressor guy here.
Really great.
Suppressor guy here.
Okay, Jimmy.
Pistols are not as fun with a can on it. Like you say, you got a big thing out there, unless they're 22. 22 pistols are awesome because the can is small and light and tiny.
Right, yeah.
And but where the cans shine are pistol brace weapons, whatever, AK, AR, whatever, HK, we got them all. That's where they shine. Because they're still small and compact. You can fold them, backpack them, whatever. That's where they really shine. And then anything 22 is awesome. I try telling people you need a 22 can. And they're like, 22, what a wimpy. No, it's the most quiet. It's the easiest. It's nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a 22 can on a, say like a 17 or 18 inch barrel shooting subsonics anyways, you don't hear anything. I mean, I've sat there right next to guys shooting, 22s with just a little suppressor, about yay long, You don't hear anything. You know, they're not very noisy to start with, and then all of a sudden you've just taken that little bit of pop out of there.
And it's like, what is that? And the critters don't even know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I've hunted squirrels, and you'd have one right next to the other one. It didn't know what's going on, so he's just there still. Like, why did my buddy fall over?
What happened?
Like, you all right, man? You okay? What happened? Well, last time I go out drinking with you, I ain't gonna carry you home.
They also shine in rifles, also like bolt actions, even the AK. We have a 308 AK. That thing's awesome. It's got adjustable gas. I need to thread my foul. That thing has 9 adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
So they really shine there. And then even if you're sonic and shooting full up loads, you hear a crack out in the mountains. No one knows where you are. It's like someone out in the mountains is shooting, not in my backyard. You know what I mean? So you got that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so I'm looking at, you know, once everything gets settled on January 1st. Yeah, it'll probably be a little bit later in the year before I actually get a silencer, and I don't know exactly what I'm going for, but like I said, that HK setup, that's become a grill gun for me. Of course, I got like 20 grill guns right now bouncing around in my head. So
you need a 45 can for that.
Yeah, you'll need a 45 can for that one too. Like I said, I'm good. The main reason I'm doing this is I just want the aesthetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a couple 45s, and most of the time when I play with 45s, I'm playing with a 1911 of some sort. But since I found out that they actually still sell, you know, it's new production. It's not, you know, you're buying somebody's ragged out, old, wore out HKU. I decided I just want, and if I could get that light laser unit that it came with, I'm not so much worried about that, but that'd be cool to have too. Just to say,
okay, you got to realize, unless it's got tall sights, you're not going to see over the can. So you got to shoot through the can, aim through the can, which is fine once you're used to it. And the other thing is, take a look at, you know, what's funny is I looked at the top 5 selling suppressors this year, and believe it or not, a lot of them are older. So the Rugged Obsidian 45 can, it's modular. You can shorten it to make it short or long for more quiet. That thing is still a top seller. It's still on the top 5 list. My Octane 45 can and 9 can was from the same designer, Silencer Co. And then they got into a fight, and he left and made Rugged suppressors. So it's the same baffles, but now it's modular, so it's shorter if you want. Take a look at that one to see if it'll have the look you're looking for. They probably used Surefire cans back then. I don't know on
that. I can remember 2 or 3 stories back in like Guns and Ammo and Guns Magazine and all that back in back in the Clinton days.
Yeah, and here's another thing. Don't want to interrupt you, but back then they weren't hearing safe. They were close, but they weren't the decibels. Now you got hearing safe 45 cans.
Yeah. So it like I said, once I get the pistol, and I'm probably going to be going down the friggin' suppressor route, because if nothing else,
it's a rabbit hole.
Just more and more people are using them at the ranges, and I don't have anything against them. I just don't like the idea that eventually they're going to start saying, well, you can't shoot that gun here because you don't have a can on it, and that's my biggest.
I don't think they'll. Yeah,
but you know me.
Yeah, but you
guys know me. You know, as far as I'm concerned, all this stuff should be sold in vending machines. So, yeah.
Yeah. So say you had an Obsidian or whatever the neatest thing is now, as long as it's cleanable, all that stuff, stainless baffles. You can shoot 22, 300 blackout, 9mm, all kinds of calibers through that can. And if it's rated, you can do 44 Magnum in a rifle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a lot of purposes. You just need adapters, you know, whatever.
The probably the way my way of thinking is at the moment is just have one, like a 45 caliber can, and then maybe have, because I know that you can get end baffles where you can reduce it down to like 9mm and you know,
the end cap.
yeah, and do that with the rifle can also, and just get one that can handle the 300 rum. And if you can handle the 300 rum, you're going to be able to handle anything out there, you know, except for maybe like 335 Lapola. Yeah, but I don't foresee me getting into the 335 game. If I do, it's just I got a really good deal, and it's just like, you know, Susan's not talking to me for another week.
Now, if you do put a can on your 7-inch 223, that is going to be a welding torch. So you want to make sure you got the right, it's rated for 7-inch barrels.
Yeah.
So whether it's cobalt or Inconel coated baffles, or at least the first one. And titanium is really nice, but sometimes they spark and it's not as rugged. So there you go. But they'll be rated for anything 30 cal. Certain companies anyway.
Right. The can that I used on it when I was shooting at the indoor range, and like I said, since I just bought the pistol there, they went ahead and let me use one of their rental cans. And it was rated for everything. It was probably rated for even full auto. I dropped the hint to them that if they wanted to bring their full auto loader out, you know, I'd be more than happy to share my ammo and upload with them. They didn't take the hint though. But anyway, even with that can on there, the damn thing was still friggin' loud inside there, and it was still shooting flame out the end. But it was more, you know, it was. I think the main reason they had it on there was just to control how much, control the flame more than the sound, because like I said, it was still, you know, rattling everybody's teeth letting that damn thing off inside there like that. But yeah.
223 is a nasty little suppressor type caliber. You get the sonic crack, it's fine. Not my favorite though. That's where 300 blackout is the king. For super wet, super short, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, like I said, with the 7-inch, you know, part, yeah, like I said, for me, it's just a range toy. I don't foresee me ever having. Hey, there's my cousin there. What's up?
Hey, Robert, what's up? Yeah, so cans are another rabbit hole, just like casting. I understand, you know, you just buy the lead right now and start that way. That's fine. You know, hey, you're not going to have, you're going to have less variables. Like, is there zinc in my lead or anything? Boom, you can go to town. So, who is this? Up yours. What are names?
Does that car have 4 cylinders? Is that even a 4-cylinder, that Honda back there?
No, it's a 2-cylinder. It's kind of like a motorcycle engine.
That's a little Morris Minor, isn't it? That's a Morris Minor, I think.
No, that's a Honda 400 M600. It's a 2-cylinder, up to 40 horse, depending on the year. Half motorcycle engine, super simple. Anyway.
Robert, yeah, he's my cousin who lives out there in Coos Bay. And he's a driver also, and father of 20, and he's and then oh, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, he got in a couple fist fights when he was a lot younger, and now
Mm.
You said he's from Coos Bay, Oregon.
yeah. Well, yeah, he's from back east, but yeah, he lives in the Coos Bay area.
Yeah.
And then
Coos Bay.
Yeah, Coos Bay.
Where is that? South?
It's mid coast. It's in the mid coast of Oregon.
Is it by like Lincoln or Agate Beach?
It's south of Portland. Like it's like a 3-hour drive, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to ever move back out to the West Coast, that's where I'd go straight back there. You know, there's a bunch of nice little towns right there on the coast, and it's yeah. He's talking about being surrounded by liberals. It's the very hippy dippy area.
The port of Coos Bay there, we used to go down there and we would do onloads for NOAA ships, buoys and stuff like that. We would go ahead and go down there and truck would show up and we'd go ahead and load them on the ships and give them all the electronic gear and stuff they needed for them.
Yeah.
I love the Oregon coast. It's beautiful. Just
it is. Oregon coast is awesome.
The west side that is more comfy to live. Yeah.
Well, I tell Susan all the time, because she asked me about, well, what's it like out there? And I'm there literally just go outside, except for it's about 30 degrees cooler, and on any given day. I mean, a hot day out there is maybe 80 degrees. Yeah, and
Tillamook's nice. Tillamook's nice. Washburn, that's nice. Nice little areas, little seaside areas down there along the Oregon coast. The Oregon coast is awesome. It really is. And up here in Washington, Jim will tell you, man, you go down on the beach down here, you can just see rocks. And rocks. But if you go down on the Oregon coast, you can see that sort of beaches, but they also have sandy beaches there that are just as nice as what you're going to see down in California. They're just beautiful.
My favorite are the coves that have the cliffs. Mm-hmm. And so you're overlooking your own little bay that has rock cliffs.
I have a bunch of
Yeah,
and the ocean comes in there, crashes and everything. It's pretty cool, man. It is. It's nice.
Paradise. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
When I lived out there from it was like the middle of 90 to the middle of 91. And then that it was the day I stepped off the bus, the logging industry went to hell. So anyways, I went back, but that short time out there, it just left such an impression on me. And where I lived at, it wasn't military, it was but the lumber yards would send their scrap chip in, and they loaded into this loading area. And then about once a month, a boat would come in, and they'd load all the chip onto and try to get a couple jobs there, and it just never worked out. So
yeah, Coos Bay wasn't Coos Bay, I think, has a Coast Guard station there, but Coos Bay they used private piers there for the NOAA boats that came in, which was kind of a problem for us because we had to adapt our shore power and all kinds of crap to their boats. So, it was like, okay, so now we're going to go ahead. We're going to go with this and that and the other thing. Blah 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 blah. Well, we're going to have to get a rental, and it was just figuring it out along the way. And once we got it all down pat, though, it was like boom, boom, send them out. It was cool. Yeah, so I spent a little time down there. One thing that was kind of cool about Oregon too, the Oregon coast, you go on 101, is not only do you see the sights, I mean, like Jim was talking about, beautiful, coves and rocky cliffs and all kinds of stuff. But man, I'll tell you what, you run into park after park after park.
Yeah.
Park after park down along the coast of Oregon. You don't see that in Washington State. You don't see that up here. But they had their act together. They put a lot of parks out there for people to use for recreation and everything. And it's, very nice. And another thing too, down in Oregon, I don't believe you need something that is like up here in Washington, you have to use what they call the Discover Pass in order to use the parks. I think down there it's still free for everybody to use. You go in there, you only pay for overnight camping. That's it. Which it should be. That's what it should be.
You'd have to ask Robert about that one, any thoughts from Morales?
I don't know. We have a bunch of new friends here I've never seen before.
I'm not sure what.
I'm getting a lot of comments. I'm getting a lot of comments about this. Okay. This chick was my buddy. Okay. This chick was my buddy, and she was really super cool. I really miss her. Yeah. She moved down to Phoenix, Arizona. And that was pretty hard, but man, I had some good times with her. She was a gem. I used to go shooting with her. If you need anything, man, she was on her feet. You talk about getting the kitchen, make me a sandwich. She was on it, dude. I mean, she had no problem at all with that.
I didn't realize that was a personal photograph. I thought that was from a film or something, and I'm still
No. Okay, she's the same chick. She's the same chick you see in the other background that I have. That chick. That's her.
Okay.
That's her. That other background that I have is her too, and she's very, very beautiful chick. She really is. She's a beautiful human being. Let's put it that way. I mean, you get beyond the way she looks, and she's a beautiful lady. She really is.
Oh yeah, she likes Harleys and 1911. She can't be all that bad.
Well, those look like Springfield, isn't it? The one she's holding.
Yep, those are Springfield. One of them was mine, and one was a friend of mine's. And we handed them to her, and she rolled back, and she did that, and I just happened to have my camera, and I went like that. I said, "I got you." She's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch! You took my picture." I said, "Yes, I did. Yes, I did." She's that camera boy. She was chasing me around. She doesn't like that when you surprise her.
I'll tell you what, though, she has a classic a classic photograph right there.
Yeah. See the brass knuckle tattoo.
Okay. I thought that was like a cat's paw or something.
Yeah, really, really a beautiful lady and caring. She's got 4 kids. She's not married, and her kids come first. I mean, she's always taking care of her kids, and she'd spend every last dollar, making sure they got clothes and food and everything. And another thing too, she's not a welfare mom. She works. She doesn't believe in welfare.
Good deal.
Oh yeah, she's really strong about that. She doesn't like welfare women at all. Period. Oh yeah, she meets some chick that comes in and says, "Yeah, I got like 3 kids, blah blah blah," and her first words to her is, "So what do you do for a living?" "Oh well, I'm between jobs." Oh, so you're on the dole then? Yeah, she says, "My friends here have to support you because you're a worthless piece of crap." Oh, she'll get right in her face. Oh yeah. So she's very, very strong about that. Got some good values. I was lucky to meet her. She was cool, and she likes BMWs. So yeah, she really liked my. Enough about that.
All right, let's put a bigger car in the background. Yes.
There you go.
Anyway, Patriot Paul, we still have unfinished business. I don't know why you're all up on my ass right now, the last couple of days, but evidently you're accusing me of using certain products. It looks like you use Amazon. They got dirt. What? You use Google Chrome? What do you use for a server? All right. So nobody is free from backlash. All right. So there we go. And I want your ass on here sooner or later. I love you. I don't know why you've been on my ass the last 2 weeks. Gosh, I thought we were good, Patriot Paul.
Yeah, Rose. This is her too.
Yeah, her eyes remind me of somebody. The other picture, especially. This
No,
one's just
dude.
different.
You talk about photogenic. She can do like like perfume commercials. Like I'm worth it, motherfucker. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, she can
Okay.
throw it down. She's very.
DS5 asked me, what's my thoughts on Amazon? It's just another big corporation. I use it. They use me. I own stock in them, and they make a ton of money off my ass. Probably this week, they probably made $500 off me.
And they're also evil, so don't throw stones.
Yeah.
And Patriot Poll's talking about DuckDuckGo. I've tried that. Half of the stuff doesn't come up. I tried alternatives. I really have.
Yeah. Amazon's evil. Sears or Roebuck, if they even still exist, I guarantee you they're evil. J.C. Penney's was evil in their time. All these corporations, and actually the corporations aren't evil. The people who run them are evil. Their corporations are just a thing. Yeah. So, but at least.
Yes, I'm right, Patriot Poll. Don't throw stones because there's no way that you're perfectly clean everywhere because of all the crap. We have no choice in a lot of cases, all right? And that's a problem. All right.
Well, I was just thinking about it. I was just thinking about it. I live in a storybook town. I mean, you go downtown and there's gingerbread and everything's painted and we have special street lights and the streets are all clean and everything's cool. And, every day it's just flooded with tourists. I mean, just flooded, going to the bakery, going here, going there, going to the waterfront, blah, blah, blah. But what people don't understand, they don't understand my town the way I do. And the subculture of the evil people that live there and some of the bull crap that goes on in that town. I mean, there's this whole undercurrent of riffraff people that are there. And yeah, man. And you know what? I think that every town in America has that. You know what I mean? And that right there, that's the true evil. You know what I'm saying? That's the true evil. People can turn around and say, well, that guy's evil, or that guy's evil, or this company's evil, or that company's evil. The bottom line is it's this network of evil people that are just scoundrels that are they're ruining our society is what they're doing.
Here's an example. The one company I drove for them for about 9 months. That's how biggest pile of white trash you'll ever find. They'll spend $1 to screw a driver out of a penny. Anyways, but they haul orange juice to Minute Maid. Are you going to stop drinking Minute Maid because one of the companies that haul produce, haul the product to them is maybe not evil, but they're the biggest pile of fucking white trash you'll ever meet. Look how many people just this year have been killed by drivers pulling Amazon trailers. Do you boycott trucking? Do you boycott Amazon? Do you boycott you got bad people in every part. Hopefully they keep it to a minimum, but like you said, every town, I don't care if it's a major city or a little teeny one horse town, there's always those people that are just if you really knew how they were, you discover what a big patent place they are.
Well, and another thing too, the thing that propels the evil, and the reason why it keeps getting worse and worse and worse through our subculture of society and with our youth, okay, I feel, okay, now this is my opinion, and you can take it for whatever whatever way you want to take it. And I mean, I'm not here to offend anybody. Please don't take it that way. When me and Jim, went to school, we didn't worry about airplane with suicide pilots crashing into, high-rise, buildings down in some city or something. You know what I mean? We didn't have to worry about stuff like that. We didn't worry about, teenage suicide. Some kid in school committing suicide. We didn't. If that happened, it was very, very rare. Like what? I mean, like it would happen like in Seattle or Tacoma or something, but you'd only hear that one case. You know what I'm saying? It was a different world back then. I mean, nowadays, you say the wrong thing to somebody, they get offended. The next thing you know, you end up in court getting sued because you hurt their feelings. I mean, we didn't live in that world, but today we do. And unfortunately, because of the fear and because of what's going on, it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And I hate to say like this, if there's any time that people really need to start going back to church, pick whatever church you want. I don't care. Do it. Do it. Because our world, is just going moralless. You know what I mean? Our country is just going moralless, and it just seems to just keep screwing in and in and in and in. The worm just keeps turning and deeper and deeper and deeper on this, and it's happening through our youth, because our youth are being brainwashed, and it's terrible. It's like 35 years ago, all of a sudden this all flipped, and it started, and it was right around the time where it took, both parents to go to work just to make the mortgage payment and stuff, Once you started destroying the home, then you could go after their kids' morals and all kinds of stuff. This was definitely a plan, by the leftists. It was definitely a plan. And the only way to get, us back on track, I hate to say this, and I'm not a person to force anybody to believe in what I believe in. However, it's pretty hard to go wrong, with taking your family to church or something. Try to get some morals going. Try to get some sort of thing going on, and some sort of foundation in your life about what's morally right, and treat other people that way. Pick whatever church you want.
Or just start eating at the dinner table all together and talk about your day.
Yeah.
You in the background, Rollis?
What's that?
Is that you in the background?
I've never had, when I had long hair, when I had the hair, it was never that good looking. No, that's just somebody else.
Oh, it's not you, because I got pictures like me of that. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I get
the
long. Yeah. All right.
Now, Robert, I think it's starting to swing back to the right. Yeah. Okay. He'll probably get pissed when I say this, but him and my youngest sister, they're like only a couple months apart, if I remember correctly. And at one time, it was just a style for the girls to run around with the pretty short hair. And he already had hair down. He was like 10 years old and he had hair down to his down the middle of his back. And he all the time people were mistaken for that. So then finally one day he just comes up and he's all he didn't get shaved, but he was all cropped stuff. But that's just a special little girl there. So yeah, that's one of the reasons. Yeah, his like you said, his dad was a bike. Whatever your impression of the Vietnam biker type, Uncle Mike just checked every box there. And like he said, and his mom, she's still a friggin' hippie, and she's 75. And so but yeah, back to what Robert and you were saying, David, and all that. Yeah. You're going to see a resurgence in more conservative church. apparently that's what that Charlie. I knew there was a guy named Charlie Kirk, and that's literally until what happened a couple 2 weeks ago now. I knew nothing about him, and but apparently he was one of the reasons why they wanted to get rid of him was he was starting to.
Well, he was fucking shit up.
Yeah,
that's why. That's right there. That's exactly it. And it was a network of people that did that, and they programmed that kid to go do it, and he did it, saying the orders came down from high above. Yeah,
they egged him on. You remember? Okay,
delusion. Totally delusion.
They egged him on. You guys remember fights in school where two guys are egging on the other guys to fight. No, he's talking tribe, blah blah blah, and they egg you on to get you to do it. That's what.
Okay,
happened.
So that's funny. I've had kind of a rough week. It all started off with a bank on Monday, but that's my personal business. But anyway, so Thursday night. Okay, we don't have a Winco in my town, but the next town over has a Winco. And you know how Pat, he talks about going to Winco. And, they have good savings there and all that. I mean, I get tired of going to Safeway, and I get tired of going to local supermarkets here. I figured I'd try something different. So it's about 7 o'clock at night, and I go pulling into the Winco parking lot, right? And there's this Asian dude with his girlfriend who's taller than him. So he's standing there, right? And he's got a Lexus, and it's lowered, and it's all cool and black, and tinted out windows and mag wheels and big exhaust and all this other crap. So I was like, cool. So I'm sitting there, and I'm gonna pull in my parking spot, and he took up 2 parking spots. He did the whole crossway, type thing, because of his precious car, Anyway, so the one dude that parked on the other side of the car next to him was walking out, okay, and he's walking out. I'm standing next to my car, to lock my car and everything to go in. And the guy kind of mumbled, said, hey, you shouldn't take up 2 spots like that. And this kid just went off, on him. And, they got into an argument, and the guy did. He held his hands out. Said, look, I just want to go in and get my groceries. Have a nice day. And they wouldn't let it go. This Asian guy and his girlfriend, man, just kept egging him on. And then the girlfriend yells at him, talk about egging it on, says, he has a black belt. You picked the wrong person to screw with, blah, 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 right? And little Action Jackson, right, man, a little Oriental dude, man, goes into his stance, his kung fu grip crap, and this dude, this dude, he bends over like this, puts his head down, make a small target, brings his elbows in, puts up his dukes, and it was pap, 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 babap. And man, I'll tell you what, that Asian dude, he skidded on his back, with his arms still up, like he was going to throw a punch. And I'm going to tell you what, that dude was done. I mean, it was done. And his girlfriend was screaming all these obscenities, and I got a picture of your license plate and you, and we know who you are, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he was like, look, I'm going to go grocery shopping. Goodbye. He went in the store, and I went in there, I did my shopping, and I come back out. Here's the state patrol, because this town doesn't have a municipality. They don't have their own police, so the sheriff or the state patrol usually show up. There's a state patrol there, and the guy that defended himself, he was getting in his car leaving, and they were taking those 2 and put him in the back of the patrol car, taking him downtown. They were in cuffs. And I thought, man, that's poetic justice. That is poetic justice, Yeah, hey, man, I'll tell you what, I'm not a person who really likes violence. I don't like seeing violence. I hate it when I see emotional violence, okay? However, when a guy's cool, calm, collected, and he applies the principles in his head. He doesn't get emotional about it, and he's very precision about defensive fighting. Okay, he applies violence in a way that's I admire. You know what I mean? I admire that. In other words, he's not out because it's an egotistical world that he's living in. He's doing it because he's learned how to do it. He's learned how to do it right, and he's unfluttered, okay, by all that emotional shit about being late, egged on, or how are your friends going to view this, or whatever. He doesn't care. He's just going to go ahead and do his business, and that's it. He keeps his mind clear, and man, I'll tell you what, that was it, done. It was awesome. I thought, wow, punched his shit to the ground, man. It was awesome. Anyway, that's what I get for going to Winco. I guess that parking lot's been known to be kind of a hot zone. Yeah.
Winco.
Winco.
We went.
Center.
We took the niece out to dinner for her birthday last night. Susan and I did, and so at the end of the evening, she's there. Hey, can we go to the car? There's supposed to be a car, a car show, just little car rally somewhere here in town. And Susan said, "Well, she doesn't want to go either," but she kept asking me, "Well, will you go?" I think she just wanted to have somebody older with her because she's not even 17 yet. But she likes to go. She's starting to get into the car thing and stuff. But so we went and we found a couple guys who were we stopped at the gas station so I can get some coffee, and found a couple guys who had just come from there. And she asked them, where's it at? Because she couldn't get any information, and just got a couple cornholes in there. Everybody else standing around chilling, checking their vehicles out, and had a couple cornholes there, just sitting there doing stupid stuff. And and cops showed up and told them all to get down the road before that very thing would happen. And, but yeah,
that's another thing too that needs to be broken. The teachers unions. The teachers unions need to be broken. Public service. Within the teachers union need to be served and said, look, your political views and all the things that you have a right to or whatever, that goes out the window in public service. You're here to be a teacher. That's it. Not to have pride flags. Not to talk about what you believe in. Not anything like that. And another thing, these high schools, I mean, it's crazy. You go down to a high school or you go to a middle school or grade school nowadays, they got cameras, watching the playground. They got cameras watching the parking areas. They got cameras watching, the assembly areas for the students. They've got cameras in the gymnasium, in the stadiums. They got cameras in the hallway. They got cameras, for the entrances to the bathrooms. They got cameras. They got cameras everywhere in these schools, except the classrooms and the teachers' lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know about you, but I think that me as a parent and also as a concerned citizen should be able to walk down to the school district and say, look, I think cameras inside the at least, the classrooms is a must. And they'll get upset. They'll get all mad. Well, what do you think we're doing in there? Blah, 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 blah. You're just one of these. No. Everybody calm down. I don't care what your beliefs are. I really don't. I just think for public safety, there should be some sort of recordable record about what's going on in the classroom, because somebody might come in there, something might be said. It's for your own safety. Maybe you got a student that accuses you of groping them or something like that. At least you have something to fall back on. It's actually for your benefit. And sell it to them that way. You know what I mean? Wad it up and pack it right up their butthole. You know, you shouldn't. The only reason why they don't have cameras in the classrooms because they don't want us to know what they're teaching their kids. They don't want us to see that they're screwing off all day. I mean, they don't want us to know what they're talking about in the lounge. They don't want us to know any of that because it's I guess it's none of our business.
Yeah, I figure it's more. It's not even so much what they're teaching the kids. They're trying to protect the kids from their own actions. And if we saw how these kids were treating the teachers, because we've all seen the videos of these kids.
All the more reason to have cameras in the classroom.
No, I agree with you, but their mentality is they don't want to, somehow harm the kids, their reputations or whatever.
Well, that was another thing me and Jim didn't have to worry too much about when we were growing up. If you were out of line, you were put in line. Yeah. If you were misbehaving, you were corrected for that. And when you got home, your old man would sit you down and talk about how hurt he is that another man had to straighten your shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got it from him. So you learned your manners. You learned how to act in society.
The principals had paddles with holes in them.
Yes. Called the Board of Education.
Yes. You got an ass kick. That's what you
need.
An ass kick.
The shop.
Well,
the shop teacher would make them one. Here you go. Oh, yeah. All stained, all varnished, all beat up and everything. Nice grip on it,
It goes back to the simplicity about eating around the dinner table. What did you learn in school today? What did they talk about at school while you're eating dinner? It goes back. It's simple as eating at the dinner table as a family instead of being on TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And you're right. When they took mom out of the house and people come home with a pizza, they don't feel like, setting the table. They just sit in front of the TV and they throw the pizza on the coffee table. They just all start gritting down. If there's no in the home, then, they're preying on that. These scumbags in this world are preying on the fact there's no order being taught in the home. They don't learn order. They learn disorder.
See, Robert brings up a pretty interesting the school counselors in her school, and his daughter's school, convinced his daughter that she was trans for a while, and fortunately it seems to have worked its way out because he didn't make a big deal about it, and whatnot. But they were actively trying to push that on her, but that's and that's just one of the one of the facts that these kids are having to deal with, and but I mean it's they're and the big reason they're pushing the trans thing on these kids, and everybody wants to. My theory is they just don't want people that they consider to be low class reproducing. This is their way. Tell all the little girls to rip their uteruses out. Tell all the little boys to cut their nuts off. And then they don't have to worry about these people that they look down their noses at reproducing. So
I'm pretty sure that Jim, when he walked in the door from school and he did something wrong, his dad already knew it. You know what I mean? And there was going to be order. Yes, there will be order. It'll involve tears. You'll remember those tears. Yes.
It's called discipline. Discipline works.
It does work.
Yeah.
And there is no discipline. There is no order. The left wants to push that, And so they want to disorder it even more. They tell these kids that whatever, if you want to walk around in a scuba suit, with a face mask on and an air tank and all that stuff, walk around town like that with big flippers on, and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, what's going on with you?" He says, "Well, I can't talk to you because I'm actually a goldfish, and I only speak goldfish. I relate to being a goldfish." See, they want to actually turn people into that. You know what I mean? All for the disorder, all for the absolute absurd disorder of it. And that's exactly what you see with these trans people, And another thing too, they weave, anger and more anger into these kids about that. When they start indoctrinating them, that's when they start putting the anger in there. They put the anger in there, what to feel angry about, why they feel repressed, why they feel, and the whole 9 yards. They just start this whole cycle of indoctrination and brainwashing. The next thing you know, they're on rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they don't even feel like they did anything wrong. Yeah, it's messed up, dude. Really super messed up. Well, anyway, man, I really didn't want to talk about Charlie Kirk. I didn't want to get on this subject for that one reason. I can be very opinionated. I'm not a perfect person. Neither you, Rollis, or Jim, or anybody. I mean, we aren't.
I'm a clean.
Yes. We know where there's a line, and step across the line. There's disrespect. That morally are wrong. And we know that.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get out of their society.
Now, talking about being a perfect person, whatever Robert might tell you, he's just making it up. Okay. So and whatever he says is about me, it's just, he's just making it up. It's not true.
Well, the good news was during COVID, parents started watching because they were on computers doing class, and they started watching what these teachers are teaching them. And then they started persecuting parents at the meetings that were complaining about what their kids are being taught. And that was a good thing. That came out, and parents were pissed. So that's good. But I agree. Put a camera in every room. Let the parents watch them if they want.
Yeah, sure. Well, just even like I said, a recordable, recordable thing that you can watch. It could be like days ago or some crap, and you can go to the school and say, I'm kind of concerned about my kid. Do you mind if I watch, how my kid's doing in school and how they're behaving in the classroom? Because I'm very concerned about that. You should be able to do that. You have a right to know how your kid is doing in the classroom.
It will cut down on all the pranks we did to teachers, though. If you're on camera, if you're on camera, you can't pull that stuff anymore.
Yep, there you go, and you can sell it to you can sell it to the school district by saying, "Look, we're only concerned for your safety too." You know what I mean? Even though that's not really the reason.
Oh, Gunswatter's retiring.
Oh, yes.
Welcome
yes. New world for you.
Welcome to the rabbit hole. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Oh, you're going to love it, dude. You're going to wake up late and you're going to say, oh, man, I got to call in. And then you thought, oh, wait a minute, I'm retired.
I figured up when I can retire. I'll be able to retire 3 years after I die. And
but
I stayed awake in class, huh?
Just think once you retire, you can wake up in the morning and you can call places that you never even worked at and call in sick. Calling sick. They're like, oh, hey, Dave's sick. It's like, Dave who? And then Dave shows up. The other Dave shows up and said, hey, I thought you called in sick.
Yeah. You'll wake up at 4 a.m. No, you'll look at the clock at 4 a.m. and say, oh, you're watching movies in bed. And, well, there goes my day.
Well, I don't know. 9 o'clock kind of rolls around, so you take about an hour nap, and then you get up, and you're like, "Man, I really should go to the store today." And then, I mean, your whole world changes, man. You get a call from your doctor's office, and they're like, "Yeah, we got you scheduled for 8 o'clock in the morning," and you go, "No, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. I'm on my timetable. You are going to put me at about 10:30 or 11 o'clock. That's when I'll show up." Yeah, you definitely get in the driver's seat when it comes to your timetable when you're retired. It's a whole new world. It's great. It really is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing too. You're going to save a lot of money on fuel. Oh yeah, like you'll fill your car up with gas, and it'll last for a month. It's like, golly, man, I just.
Well, considering the fact that Robert is, he's a gas hauler. He goes to the gas, law gas stations. You guys need to drive more. You need to, just drive around in circles all day long. So you have to buy.
Not Washington State. Not Washington State, where it's almost $5 a gallon. We got the highest gasoline prices in the entire United States now. We actually went past California and Hawaii. We're number one. We could thank Bob Ferguson for that. Oh yeah.
Isn't he? I assume that's the governor, and doesn't that make him special?
He is such a steaming pile. Oh my God, that guy is just a steaming pile. I don't know how he got in there. I mean, obviously there is voter fraud and cheating and all kinds of stuff going on if he got in there. I mean, total liberal. He destroys people's lives, with a pen. I mean, he is a lawyer by trade. He was our attorney general. And there is a long history. There's a stack of people that he has destroyed their lives, wiped out their finances, drove them into bankruptcy, all kinds of stuff. I mean, he is a horrible, terrible, evil man. Oh yeah, yeah, well, very, very.
That's what happens to people who live in states like yours, Oregon, California, and like New York. You get this large concentration of people who, I'm just going to call them Democrats because that's what they are for the most part. And then your outer, the rest of the state is rural. Washington's like that, Oregon's like that. If it wasn't for the very coast being as liberal fruits and nuts as it is. Yeah.
Well, me and Pat call it the I-5 corridor. Mm-hmm. On each side of the I-5, 5 miles out, each, east and west from I-5, every one of those cities is liberal. Either that, there's some extremely ignorant people that live there and they vote Democrat because they're told to do that. And voter fraud. Obviously, voter fraud because Bob Ferguson, man, he's stomping his foot. He's just having a hissy fit. I mean, he's jumping up and down about it. He jumped up out of his chair and all kinds of stuff. And he's livid. He's just furious about it that we are demanding voter ID in Washington State. He is absolutely out of his head about it because he knows that that's the only way they get the Democrats in here. They cheat. It's a voter fraud. And so, Jim can say, along with me, he lived here in Washington. Washington as a whole is conservative. It's only like Pierce County and King County and Snohomish County. That's it. Those are your troubled counties. Otherwise, you go anywhere else in Washington State, we're all conservative. We're all like, stay out of each other's business and all about hunting and 2A and all kind of. I mean, like I said, you get 5 miles beyond east or west of the I-5 corridor, and you're going to run into these people that are grassroots people, give you the shirt off their back, people that will help you. I mean, stuff like that. But once you get into that interior of that 10-mile stretch with the I-5 corridor running down the middle of it, any of those cities, Olympia, Tacoma, Bellingham, Seattle, all those Vancouver. I mean, anything that's on that I-5 corridor in Washington State they're garbage pits. They are garbage pits filled with ignorant people and Democrats. And then there you go. I mean, that's it. But yeah, I got a feeling that this is going to be a turning point for Washington State. Voter ID is eventually going to get rid of the libtards out of Olympia. But by that time, they're going to leave everything in shambles. I mean, they're going to leave us, absolutely bankrupt. The whole state will be bankrupt by that time. They won't care. They'll want to get out. They've already made their money and stole their money from the taxpayers. So there's no more to be made. They'll leave. They'll just hand it over to the conservatives and say, "Oh well, you fix it." Oh yeah, you guys, the guys screwed it all up. And so I've got a feeling that's going to happen. Here's another thing too. Change happens very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. However, it may take 20 years to change, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no.
In other words, once you put forth the effort, and there's a movement. It'll take years, 6 months, but that last 6 months, when it changes, it'll come fast. I mean, poof.
Yeah, there's actually a term for that.
To get it to change. Literally.
Yeah, there's actually a term for that phenomenon, and that's true. It's just, and I forget what the term is, but there is an actual term.
It's a political tactic.
Yeah,
it's a political tactic. Politicians know that. That's why they're not in a hurry to really get things to change. You look at Congress, you look at the Democrats in Congress. They're not in a big hurry to change anything because they're going to make a career out of what everybody's saying needs to change. Oh, well, I'm working on it. Well, we got this progress going right here. We got this progress going right there. They're not in a hurry to fix it. They want to milk that out for 20 years, and then they want to start something else so they can have career politicians. And that's the reason why we need term limits. We need term limits to put a stop to that.
But yeah,
dollars being wasted over trying to change something.
Yeah, but even politically, whether it's politically or scientifically or just a cultural change in something, like you said, it might take 20 years for it to get started and get built up. Then all of a sudden, one day you just wake up and it's like everybody has the same mindset. Yeah, and part of that is just, of course, we're being conditioned like that, and the infamous they know it, and so until you can get people to identify with your way, you're going to have and like I said, it comes down whether it's politics or
Rellis, it's all about accountability. Okay, it's all about accountability, and these people are not being held accountable for what they do or what they say. We just had a councilwoman here in Tacoma. She just gave away all the room numbers and the hotel and where it's located and everything about where the ICE agents are staying.
Mm-hmm.
She gave the room numbers and what floor it's on publicly. Publicly, to me, that's treason.
Yeah,
that's treason.
You know what? I hope there's just a couple swinging dicks who are just stupid enough to go in there and try to kick in those doors on those agents at 3 a.m.
No, this is where those people sleep at night.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but
you know, I mean, really?
the
Really?
point
Did you just do that? You gave away the new room numbers and everything to where the ICE agents are staying. What does that tell me about you? What does that tell me about you? I mean, what flag do you have tacked up on the inside of your garage, woman?
Oh, we know what kind of flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope there's a couple people just stupid enough to, and I hope they're so dumb that they either pick the old grizzled guy who just doesn't give a shit anymore, or just the new young kid who just started and he's looking to get his first notch. You know what I mean? And
yeah, you know, I'll tell you what, Rollis, there's a podcast that goes on here in Washington State, and it's ran by a woman. She's a very conservative lady. And she just comes out with a lot of the truth. She hates Bob Ferguson. Well, I don't want to say she hates. She brings out the faults of Mr. Ferguson and puts it out there, you know, as the truth. I mean, this is the truth about what he did. This is the truth about what he said. This is the truth about what he's going to do. I mean, you know, she puts it out that way. Not that she's trying to, you know, say hate, you know, or anything like that. It's exposing this guy and his cabinet and the people that follow him. The thing is, though, her name is Brandy Cruz, okay? And you can look her up, okay? Washington State Politics, Brandy Cruz. Just put that in your computer. And she has her podcast. Watch some of her podcasts, especially the one about the 3 Tacoma police officers. That's a really good one, where these police officers, when showed up, this dude was freaking out. I mean, he was on the ceiling, jumping, bouncing off the walls. And these cops showed up. They could not subdue him. I mean, you know, he was just completely out of control. And a backup officer came in. Well, they apprehended the guy. You know, the only thing is the guy died on the scene. You know, but you know, the aid car was on its way, everything like that. But the guy expired. Okay, and it was because he was on drugs. He had a heart problem. Okay. Well, you know, when they got back to the office, you know, the management, everybody down there in the Tacoma Police Department was like, "Hey, you win some, you lose some." You know, and dude was a drug addict, and he had health issues, blah blah blah. Well, 2 weeks goes by, and the next thing you know, they all get summons and they get arrested and get brought up on charges for murder. That they actually murdered this guy. And so they went to court, and they went through the whole court proceedings and everything. And this is in Tacoma. The jury, okay, acquitted them. Okay, no, these guys didn't do anything wrong. We looked at all the evidence, you know, blah 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 blah. And so they got acquitted from that. Well, guess what? Then it happened right around the time of George Floyd. So guess what? Guess who was our attorney general at that time? Mr. Ferguson. And he he went ahead and pursued that the state attorney general's office take these officers and put them up on charges. And they did. They arrested them, the whole 9 yards. And they went through the same thing. They went through the same thing over again. And you know what? They got a jury, a mixed jury, you know, blacks and Hispanics and females and males and, you know, white guys or whatever. And sure enough, I mean, after deliberation, they came out and said, no, they didn't do anything wrong. They were acquitted again, and they were let go. Well, then a couple more weeks goes by, and next thing you know, the Department of Justice comes rolling in, and then they say, oh, by the way, you've been taken out of your police duties. You've been put on administrative duty. You'll be sitting at a desk here shuffling paper or going out and doing meter maid stuff out there in the streets of Tacoma from here on out. And you can't breathe a word of this to anyone because you're under investigation now. That the federal government is investigating you in this case. Okay. Well, a couple of weeks ago, they closed the case. But this is after years have went by. And the Trump administration, somebody in the Trump administration knew about this case, called the Department of Justice and said, what's going on out there in Washington State about these 3 police officers that are under investigation? And you know what? the Department of Justice says, can we call you back? We're gonna have to look that up. Yeah, they looked it up. They found out nobody's been investing in these guys for at least 2 years. Nobody's even opened their files.
Right.
Yeah, so these guys have been living in fear, not being able to say anything about what happened, or they were acquitted earlier, or any of their feelings on it to anyone that they work with or anybody they have any contact with, period. Otherwise, they're going to go to prison. Yeah, so the Trump administration went ahead and had the Department of Justice close their case, and they're now coming forward and they're telling their story about how evil the whole court system is used in the political arena. Because Bob Ferguson, when the Washington State Attorney General's office, when they issued the arrest report, the arrest warrants, they did that at like 8:00 in the morning, and State Patrol drove out to their houses around noon. It just so happens one of these guys was in his car, and he got a text message from his girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife, and he said, "Yeah, the State Patrol's here, and also Channel 13 is out there with their van." Each one of these guys had news coverage, and what it was is that Bob Ferguson wanted to show taking these guys out of their homes, in handcuffs, with him standing there straightening his tie and and everything, like saying, "Yeah, we got these murdering cops off the street." That's what he wanted. It was just a big political stand.
Yeah,
that guy is, man. Oh,
well, see, that's like remember Rodney King, the one cop. There was that one cop who was involved in the Rodney King incident.
You forget,
and he was cleared of everything. Then the feds came in and said, "Well, you're going to jail for something." Yeah, and they just that's when all that was going down. I was in my late 20s, and that's when I finally it finally dawned on me that what all the people who were talking bad about the government, that's when it really clicked in, and I understood now it's just about power. It's not what's right or wrong. So, and like you said,
Bob Ferguson, big liberal Democrat. The Biden administration just got in there. The Department of Justice, headed up by a big Democrat liberal. They came in there and helped old Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bob got on the phone after they got acquitted and says, "Hey, Department of Justice, I need a little help out here."
Oh.
Yeah. It was all political about power and everything. And he didn't care if he was destroying people's lives, destroying their lives, ruining people's lives, ruining. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care. It's like, it sucks to be you,
Yeah. Once again, like I was talking about earlier about Robert's daughter, they just don't want people that they look down their noses at reproducing or having any power or doing anything. The only thing they want from us is just money and a vote. Other than that, they don't want us reproducing. They don't want us achieving anything. And
does it come across that I say Washington? Because I don't say Washington. I say Washington. No, Washington. Washington State is a cauldron. It is a simmering cauldron, and one day it is going to come to a rolling boil. It's going to boil over on the stove because the people are just going to have enough. They're just going to have enough of this. Yeah, and like I said, my political views are mine. They're my opinions. They're my judgment. They're my beliefs, and they may not be true. So, I am giving it the benefit of the doubt that I may not know what the hell I'm talking about, which, do any of us really? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Patriot Paul's going on about how Yeah, NASCAR and the NFL's all, yeah. At least with wrestling, it's a, yeah, they're honest about it. And
Washington. That's what I say. Washington. Believe it or not, when I say the word, I'll tell you the word. There's something wrong maybe with the palate, the way my palate is, formed or something, and I can't pronounce certain words. I always have to say Portugal before I say Portuguese. You see, because if I don't, I'll always say it wrong. I'll always get the Portuguese wrong. So, I have to say that in the back of my mind, Portugal, and then Portuguese. So, yeah. Yeah, I agree, Uncle John. Voter fraud, obviously. Cheating within the Democratic Party, obviously. There is no way you're going to convince me that guy actually won. I mean, as much as he knows about the law and how much, I'm going to tell you what, that guy was he was a personal attorney, and his job was to sue people. And, that's what he did before he actually got into state government. So, a lot of people are afraid of him because of that reason. And so some people use a gun. Well, Bob Ferguson uses his gun. That's what he uses. And now he uses the entire backing of the state to do whatever he wants to anybody. Yep. It's terrible.
I'll be right back. I have to give these dogs a treat or else they're going to eat me. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. I was taking a pee, but apparently Pat has Antifa parrots in the backyard. Antifa parrots. The problem is, I watched that. It's short video, so I watched it while I was peeing. And apparently you can't reply to his video, or at least I can't. And I tried on both. So, Pat, if you're out there, can't reply, gave you a thumbs up for your Antifa parrots terrorizing your backyard.
Yeah, they're burning and looting. He probably flipped his car over. His car's on fire.
Oh, they're going crazy out there.
They're chanting all kinds of stuff and shaking their wings of fist at Pat, that he's the oppressor, down with the fascists, all that crap.
Yeah. So I don't know if Pat's out there, but I couldn't reply. It says something else. When you click on it, it sends you to, it's just weird. Anyways, got Antifa parrots protesting in the backyard. Man, I gotta eat soon here. It's getting late. I got one more day before gravel comes, so I gotta be ready.
Well, I got a game party I got to go to tomorrow. So what I did is I made some toasted figs stuffed with cream cheese and bacon wrapped. My whole house smells wonderful.
Toasted
figs like that, and I'm telling you, it is driving me out of my mind not to go to the refrigerator, pull back the saran wrap, and just sit down and just like hog out on them. Yep. I mean, they're wonderful. And you know what? I incorporate in the cream cheese. I incorporate kosher salt, so it doesn't taste salty, but you get those little crunchy crystals every once in a while of salt, and it's really good that way. It really is, man. It really makes it right there, and then the smoky flavor of the bacon. Oh, it's awesome. So they're not going to last. As soon as the game starts, I mean, within a half an hour, they're gone. I know it. I know these guys. Yeah. So somebody's going to bring biscuits and gravy. Another guy's going to bring a whole plate of little pigs. I'm going to bring these. And we're going to have a sit down and watch the Saints and Hawks, which I think the Saints are probably going to win. So I don't know.
The dogs needed a little treat, so I got me a little treat.
Yeah, I need to eat. I haven't had dinner.
Really?
Yeah, probably going to be microwave rice bowl of some kind. Teriyaki something.
And you know what's good? Just to sit down and have every once in a while is a BLT.
Oh, my
And
favorite.
oh man, they're delicious. They are the food of the gods. That is a sandwich. That is the food of the gods.
One of my favorites. Good BLT. Yep.
I mean, people can go ahead and say, "Oh, I love a club sandwich. I love it." Yeah, club sandwiches are not the same. They're not the same as the BLT. BLTs, it's about the bacon flavor. They're very good.
A little bit of salt on the tomato, just splits on the lettuce.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah, that whole thing with cheese. The cream cheese, you got to melt it down a little bit, put it in the microwave and soften it up. And then you have to take the kosher salt and just lay it down, then fold it over and then let it settle out. And then you got to, lay down some more salt, and then fold it over. You don't want to mix it in. The whole point of putting the salt in it is so that the crystals stay crunchy in the layers of the cream cheese. That's
just like when you buy a salted caramel cookie or whatever,
right?
You just want that little touch of salt in there to give you a
well, you know how eggs are.
It helps counteract the sweetness. You get that touch of, for lack of a better word, bitterness.
Yep.
But you don't want it to taste like popcorn or something like that.
Right, and it's like eggs. When you put regular table salt on eggs, table salt will kind of melt off, and it blends in with whatever is on the egg, so the whole egg tastes salty. And with kosher salt, it tastes like salt is on your egg, not in your egg.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I kind of like kosher salt for that. It's one of the things that I use, but I still use table salt. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, that's enough. I gotta go eat. Let's kill
All right, brother.
Let's kill it.
Okay.
I'm starving. Everyone
okay. All right. Well, hey, man. You have a good weekend, and you too, Rollis, and everybody in the side chat. Patriot Paul, Uncle John, Miss Kitty, everybody else, man. You guys have a fantastic weekend, and I'm going to be bowing out. So, peace out.
I'll see you guys. Are we going to do the Alfoof thing?
Yeah. Okay. Everyone in the live chat, love you all, and wait for it. We'll see you next time. And
Food.